Welcome, guys, to another episode of the StarchCast Revival. We are back with the co-host, Legalize Tax. Say hello, man. How you doing today?
Hello, hello. I'm doing better now that I got my Dr. Pepper.
Nice. I'm drinking some herbal tea myself.
Nice. Yeah, I saw your little review of Dr. Pepper Blackberry as well, and I think it tastes just like those Welch's fruit snacks that you can get from Costco, but in liquid form.
Never, never had the Welch's fruit snacks from Costco. I've had regular Welch's fruit snacks probably about at least 10 years ago. May have been actually a lot longer than that, but that I can really remember. It's about uh Actually, no, it had to have been like 13 years ago, because I used to have a snack cart back in elementary school, which I suppose is actually a good segue into our first topic, and mental health and how special ed kids get treated at schools.
Yeah, yeah. And as we mentioned before the show as well, um, I grew up with Asperger's syndrome, but the original school that I went to didn't really have any programs for it. So they the teachers weren't properly trained in how to deal with a child on the autism spectrum. So things generally got worse and worse. I misbehaved a lot because I didn't really feel as though I could articulate what I what was going on in my head. And so that sort of lack of communication led to a lot of behavioral issues.
Oh yeah, I can understand that one myself. Like even if it weren't for like misbehaving though, like teachers liked to go out of their way to single me out. Like I remember a couple times I got told to actually shut up by teachers. One time back in about fifth grade, yeah, I think it was fifth grade, teacher actually dumped over my desk, which had a whole bunch of crap in it. And
Oh my.
yeah, no, it was like there is a whole shit show. Like some of like back when I used to discuss this with my mother, like she even said, because this was a fair few years after the fact, she said, if I'd have heard these things when you were in school, I'd have actually sued the school. Like just to give you a little bit of background on just how bad it kind of got. Like, yeah, like I know I kind of mentioned this, but like yeah, like I was kind of a little bit attention seeking, I will admit now, this many years after the fact. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, negative attention, positive attention, at least it's some form of attention. I mean, admittedly, that's not the best mindset. But I mean, when you're a kid, autistic as well, plus, ADHD, paranoid personality disorder, that kind of thing, it's like, it's very hard to seems like actually get attention from the teachers. And when you do, it's usually just really extremely negative. And I mean, that's cool and all, but like I used to catch just a lot of negative attention because I bounced between two schools for a short while. One in my hometown and one about a town ish over. And yeah, neither one were decent for mental health. Like I spent my fourth grade actually in that school, like a town over, then part of my fifth grade, and then the teacher herself actually lived on my road, and oh no, she was a pretty awful teacher in terms of how she taught, and then like I said, I had to get out of there and go back to the school in my hometown. And the reason I actually went to that school, outside of my hometown, was because, well, for one, the teachers sucked. One of those types who, seems like really saccharine, overly sweet. Like, those types?
Uh, I in my experience, all of my teachers were pretty darn genuine. Uh, so for me, it wasn't really a situation of them treating me poorly because they wanted to treat me poorly, but because they just didn't have the proper training and didn't know what to do.
Ah, fair. Like, this teacher that was like saccharine, overly sweet, and this was too kind of everyone. Um, and also like for friggin' fourth grade was giving us those those little shitty leaflet books are like 3-4 pages picture books.
Yeah.
She was giving those to us. Like that's one of the reasons I got actually pulled out of that school and moved to the one in town over. Because I mean, if I'm in fourth grade, I should be educated, not just friggin' basically sleepwalking through my shit. Because I mean, like we went from those really shitty leaflets all of a sudden to when I was in that town to reading like Hatchet, if you remember that book. And it's
No, that wasn't part of my curriculum.
fair. It was a like if I remember right, like it's been like 10 plus years, so please bear with me. Hatchet was this one book, I mean kind of a survival story. Like this kid got in a kind of plane crash, it took water, had to get out of the boat and was having to survive on his own with just a hatchet in the wild. Like it was a
Hmm.
pretty good book, part of a series. Couldn't tell you who wrote it, but it actually got a movie adaptation at one point too.
Oh,
Hold on. Hatchet book. Gary Paulson wrote it, and it got a couple of sequels: Brian's Winter, Brian's Return, Brian's Hunt. Hold on. Hatchet book series. Series. Hold on. Let me actually look them up real quick. Because let's see. Oh, sorry. I actually got them the orders wrong entirely. It was. Hold on. This is. So, what are the 5 books in the Hatchet series? So, Hatchet, The River, Brian's Winter, Brian's Return, and Brian's Hunt, which that they follow the survival adventures of the character Brian Robeson after a plane crash. And Brian's Winter is actually an alternative ending, like what would have happened if the main character had been stranded through the winter instead of being rescued. It's actually a pretty good series. Like if you're a kid, like I mean, it's even good to look back, as an adult, just like it wasn't bad when you were a kid. Just like it was a okay book. Also,
yeah.
sorry for kind of autism ranting at you there.
Hey, like I said, I'm on the spectrum too, so I got you.
Yeah, but like yeah, no, like going back to how teachers were, like we kind of mentioned the saccharine sweet ones, but then we had the ones that were, just really dour, like ah, you suck, or ah, this job sucks. Why am I here? Those types. Then there was, the ones who seemed like normal enough people. And then junior high happened, so grades 6, 7, and 8. Whew, boy, I had this one teacher who really fucking hated me. Like, we're talking, like, every opportunity she could possibly take, I was being sent out of her room into the, like, not quite special ed room, but not quite the regular classroom either. And then ended up kind of graduating to detentions for a little while, too. Like, I spent a fair chunk of my elementary, like, for junior high, just right in detention. And I will admit, there were some I deserved, but some that I straight up didn't. But this teacher, like, this is gonna be like very uncharitable, but she was a right rotten bitch. And I hate to say that about anyone, but I mean, no, it's awful. Supposedly she got better, but I don't believe it, and I feel bad for the kids who she's principal for now. Like, she was singling
Hmm.
me out for my special needs. And like I saw how she even treated people she was related to. What the hell was she doing, for the other kids? Like,
Yeah.
like it's a whole mess. Like, high school was eventually better, but like the only things that really stood out positive from high school was well, for one, they gave us all MacBook Airs, which, stupid as it was, it gave us something to do. So, but at the same time, there was probably something better we could have all been doing rather than some of us watching Grey's Anatomy during classes. Because some of them straight up were, or, some of us just reading or playing video games during classes. But I mean, for the most
Yeah.
part, like, I really was just kind of trying to go under the radar best I could. So I was aiming for just the passing grade, no higher, no lower, unless I was trying to, even out my average a little bit. Like if, like, you, though, you want to know how shit was kind of like curved for the thing. So like you had to put out like a certain amount of homework assignments. Those were about 30% of your grade, give or take. You just had to get a 76 or higher. Then there was the test, which were about 70% of your grade, and again, you had to get 76 as a score or higher. Like I said, I was aiming for just the bare minimum, which I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have probably gotten like a 90 or more. But at the same time, like just with the way elementary treated me, I was like, I don't care anymore, which obviously not the best, but I mean, at that point, it was like, shit, whatever. And then when they had us to set up our college classes, like before I dropped out. Or I say college class, but college application type stuff. Like who we'd send our SAT scores to, which I never received my SAT score, so I don't know if I did good or bad on that. They gave us like choices, so I believe one was a clown college, one was a Christian college, and then the other two or three were community college. But again, I have
Hmm.
no idea what my SAT scores were. For all I know, I did pretty good, and for all I know, I did bad. No clue, because they never sent them to me. But they did send me and the other low income kids, home with leftovers from lunch, which I believe we've touched on, have we not?
Yeah, yeah. Spoke about that last time. I was never sent my SAT score either, but like before we took it, they gave us this little card that had a code when it was like, "Hey, go online, get type out this code, and then you'll be able to see your SAT score online, and then you'll be able to send it out yourself."
As far as I'm aware, I didn't get anything like that either. Just to,
Weird.
yeah, no. Like, as far as I'm aware, I got nothing like that back in the day. Because I can't even think of it. Like, I know literally nothing about my SAT scores. Neither do anyone in my household. Like, we got entirely screwed on that, from what I can tell. For all I know, I did
Yeah.
excellently. For all I know, I did poorly, but no clue. Even, like, almost 9 years in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can still find my scores to this day. I could probably try to figure it out, but it doesn't really matter anymore. Although although I am looking at going back and getting a bachelor's degree.
Like, I ended up taking my high sets, and those were okay. Like, I know if I wanted to, like, if I had the cash, I could probably actually take college classes. But the only reason I don't is just because after, my elementary and even my high school experience, I just, I find myself really, really leery of that. Which, I mean, is kind of a shame because I could probably do, if I wanted to, IT or even, like, try for an apprenticeship. But let me tell you, I was actually looking into trying to get an apprenticeship, and the website, at least here in the state of Maine, is a fucking nightmare. Like that shit, 9 times out of 10 does not work. Like I was trying to find the links to figure out what I need to get an apprenticeship for to become a mortician, a plumber, or an electrician. I couldn't find any of that because almost all the hyperlinks on the website were dead, and then what weren't dead straight up would not load properly. This on both mobile data, regular internet, even trying on my desktop. Like, I'm not sure why they don't seem to want people to become apprentices, but I mean, if I can't even find the prerequisites, what the hell am I supposed to do at this point?
Yeah, it is a very insular community. You kind of have to know someone to get into that sort of thing. Before my current job, I was actually looking into trying to learn some of the trades, and my family, uh, my family does bowling, like a bowling in a league, and they knew someone who was in like the elevator electrician industry. So I was potentially looking for that, but other things happened, and I went to my current job.
Well, hey, as long as you have a job, nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm quite happy with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess how I I guess looping way back to my own schooling experience on the spectrum, right? I was I never really got detention, but it was basically just like suspension, 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 always out of school and out of school suspensions throughout the years. And then eventually I just full on got expelled halfway through fourth grade. So I had to change elementary schools. But luckily, the new school I went to actually had a program for kids on the spectrum, and it it wasn't the biggest. There were probably less than 10 kids in that class, and they just kind of all threw us together on I, all across the spectrum. So there are people who were completely non-functioning autism, and then there were the more high-functioning, like myself.
I only ever
But
ran into,
regardless,
sorry to cut you off here. I only
yeah,
ever ran into a non-functional autistic twice. Once was back in the elementary, and then once was in the high school, both in the special ed rooms, because, like, to kind of interject with my own experiences, I never, well, I mean, a lot of the time, like, they just cut me off from recess, so, like, if I was punished, no recess for me, which, okay, whatever. Because, again, no attention is attention. But, like, again, some of that didn't deserve. Anyways, whatever. Like, some of the times I was in the special ed room for that. One thing I remember, that place always smelled like eggs that were kind of burnt. Unimportant, but, one of those things that sticks with you. And there was always at least, like, one non-functioning autistic kid. Like, I kind of felt like they were just kind of using that place as a daycare, because, the kid would be there basically all hours of the day. And I think it was the same in high school, too. Though it was a different kid for high school. And just one of them things that kind of sticks out to you.
yeah, yeah. I really only dealt with non-functioners in elementary and high school as well, one in each. Surprisingly, even though there was a program in middle school, everyone was generally higher functioning. But yeah, like after only half of a school year in elementary with teachers who actually like knew how to deal with kids like myself, I was able to be put into like a normal fifth grade for my last year of elementary school. And while there were a couple of issues, I was still able to be sent back to the tard room for a little bit in order to help me out and then be reintegrated again with very minimal problems. I don't think that there were any actual like real incidents, and if anything started uh, looking a bit off, it was no real incident. It's just like, hey, go to this other place real quick, and it wasn't a huge situation like previously.
The only instance,
Um,
sorry to cut you
yeah,
off, like, speaking of
yeah,
instance,
by all means.
like, the only ones I can really think of that happened in my school were, there was, like, at least in my case, like, I would, like, occasionally lose recesses because, there were a couple times I had a Freudian slip and, I was trying to say dip or, something like that, and it would accidentally come out because, I used to have a couple of speech issues. Still do, but nothing like I used to. One time I was trying to say blue cheese dip, and it came out blue cheese dick. And, being a kid, I had no friggin' clue. But, the teacher heard that. He's like, oh, how dare you? You're losing recess for the next, shit, I don't know, it was like couple, or like a month or two. Definitely,
Oof,
yeah, definitely overreacting. But, I
that's
mean,
yeah.
like they always fucking single me out. Like I never got suspensions because if they heard about that, like the like Ma would have rained hell down on them, which is why I think they didn't go that far. There was actually one time like they tried, like I was part of the after school edge program. They tried to you know actually have the bus turn around and bring me back to school. And, my ma heard about that, and from what I understand, she did rain oh holy hell on the school because no fucking teacher has the right to fucking take you off of the school bus when you're on your fucking way home, especially not like an hour plus drive. But like had me go back for an after school program, which I had, as far as I'm aware, not signed back up for, and tried to force me into that shit. And like I said, she brought it down hell because like I mean, like I said, when I say they singled me out, like we're talking like I'd be told to shut up or I'd get like way more punishments than I needed. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, again, little shit and going back to the whole attention thing. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not about to sit here and tell you that I deserved all the punishments I got. Now granted, there's always that one like, oh man, I may have been bad, but it wasn't quite bad. Just one of those type things. It's not quite that, but it's like, come on. Like it's annoying as shit just getting singled out for shit that you didn't do. Like, man, it's one of those things. You look back and you realize, damn, for lack of better words. Like, there was a couple of times even, like I said, like I always had my flip phone with me because, you're a kid, something goes wrong, and always good to be able to call home. But, like, man,
Yeah.
like, there was even, like, the only actual, like, if we're going back to instance here, the only I can really think of, like, I wasn't involved in this, but it did happen at my school. Like, a kid actually threatened to shoot up the school. Did I tell you about that one?
Oh, I have not heard about that one.
So, this was high school, I think, it was either sophomore year or junior year, but I think it was sophomore. Police actually came in and everything. We actually all got to go home early because of that. Like, I don't remember which year.
Yippee!
Yeah, but like, I heard that, and with my paranoid personality disorder, I was freaking the fuck out. Cause I mean, it's like, oh shit, oh man, what the hell do I do? So, just using the web browser, I just sent mom a message, hey, can you come pick me up? Some kid threatened to shoot up the school. And even put that all over put up all over Facebook, like, hey, yeah, so apparently someone threatened to shoot the school because, like, this was enough. Again, fucking police were coming in. And from what I understand, this was a kid with mental issues, but, like, I think it's like the kid actually got arrested or something for that. Well, I mean, obviously got arrested, but, like, I think actually got some pretty severe punishments because, fuck. Like, I don't know if the kid,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if the kid had a gun or not, but it was at least serious enough all the police came in and whatnot. And like, just to preface how small my town is, just to explain like how like very odd an event this was for something like this. Like to this day, we still do not have a populace of 1,000, though a lot of the rich folks are coming in and building houses here, so I assume it's a matter of time. But again, back then I think we were only at like 800 some odd. Like, let me actually look that up real quick. What? Hold on. What was the populace of in? So yeah, about 962 people, give or take. May have been a little bit less than that, but or could have even been a little bit more, but still small enough that something like this should not have even happened. But it still did. It's one of those things. Like that was one of the many reasons why I kind of dropped out of that school. Hell, actually, no, I think that was actually my sophomore year, because if I remember right, then, like, a couple months later, like, criminal justice teacher came in to our classes, or saying to our class, but, like, into, I think it's like my English class, doing his whole thing, kind of in drill sergeant mode, and I was like, you know what? All the stress I've had, plus everything fucking else, and now this on top of it, like, I can't deal with this anymore. So, I took the school MacBook home, got all my shit taken off of it, and then next day, like, Mana came in, had to, like, this is still very just seared into my mind. Like, I had to walk around the principal at the time, and, like, before this happened, actually, there was another instant. I was, sick, out for a week, even had sent out emails to my teachers because I knew I was going to be out for a while. Hey, I'm pretty sick, because, like, let me just tell you how sick I was, just to kind of give a little bit more background. I was fucking bedridden for the whole week. I couldn't even get out of my, like, bed and move more than, like, a foot or two at a time before getting seriously winded, and I had a bucket basically right there with me. And that was, like, pretty common. Like, I'd get that sick about once a year. So, something like that, I sent a teacher, like, hey, hello, Mrs. Math teacher. Hello, Mrs. History teacher. Hello, social study teacher. That I really don't like, but I gotta pretend to. Hello, insert teacher here. I mean, obviously, I was a lot more polite than that, but I'm gonna be out for the week. I am sick and bedridden. Will you please send my homework with, home? Well, because my mother should be in by the end of the week. Will you please send home my work? And the only one who did was the math teacher. So, Algebra 2, I was caught up with that. But the other classes, nah, I was completely fucked on, because actually sending home my work? Nah, can't have that, apparently. And, man, like that, that was really the straw that broke the camel's back, so, going back to the other thing, walked around the friggin' principal and the art teacher, uh, like, the, told the secretary, All right, here's my MacBook. I'm dropping out. Have a good one. And I think basically in those exact words, walked around. The art teacher asked, "Yeah, are you okay?" Because the art teacher was pretty cool. Like her and I were pretty tight as far as that goes. I said, "Yeah, just dropping out." Yeah, okay. So I left, and then a couple hours later, the secretary sends me a message because we had each other on Facebook because I would occasionally bring her like a dozen eggs because I used to raise chickens, and hell, a dozen eggs were like a couple bucks, cheaper than the grocery store. Shit, I had something pretty good going on with the secretary of the school too, and
Yeah.
like I'd go get that sorted. But like she was like, hey, the principal would like to like call and talk with you. And I said, all right, Moss. So I said, Moss says like if she wanted to talk, like she could have talked this morning because she was right there, blah blah blah. Anyways, but if she wants to talk, here is my phone number. She can call. Never called. But it was a whole thing. Like, man, like I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to relive my school years. I want to relive this and that. But like, I mean, no offense, but hell, fucking no. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like there's a few positive memories in there, but like I don't want to relive that.
Hmm. About the only thing good, genuinely, was the MacBook and the food. Mostly just the food. Other than that, no. I would be content never going through that, because especially in elementary where they had me fucking drugged up to the gills until like 7th grade, I'd like to say. Like, nah, dude. Because it's one of those things. I don't get why. Like, well, what is it with teachers who don't, know how to handle their kids being like, oh yeah, no, he needs to take all these medications. I'm gonna even like keep pressuring you and like to the parents and like it sucks, man. If this was my experience, I'm only like I'd have been class of 2019 if I had dropped out. If they were doing this to me and they were doing what they were to you, what the hell were they doing to the other kids?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my only benefit is again, it didn't really seem like they were malicious, just untrained, didn't know what to do and still trying their best. But yeah, it seems that yours were kind of just annoyed and really not wanting to deal with it at all, not even wanting to try.
Yeah, it sucks. Like I get that like my teachers actually were the ones who were uh like how did they quite put it? Like we don't get paid enough. Oh, but I mean, these same teachers had like pretty new at the time vehicles. They had like a lot of really fancy bells and whistles alongside their school assigned MacBook Pros. They had like all sorts of cool shit, but like, we're not getting paid enough. It's like exercise some self-control then. Sorry, that's always been kind of a pet peeve of mine, especially knowing just
Yeah.
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 Wow, it's only been not even half an hour. Sorry for just kind
Wow.
of yeah, sorry for kind of just autistically ranting at you this whole time.
No, no, no. It's all good. Yeah, the only other thing I can think of for my experience is then like going on to middle school. Um, we it was no longer okay. So in my elementary school, right? Every student had like their own separate class rotations, right? So so there would be like a literature teacher, science teacher, math teacher, and possibly social studies, um, and then like a fine arts rotation, right? So that rotation would cover PE, art, music, all those different things, and that would be like on a bit of a rotation wheel. So each each class would have like the same few teachers for the main subjects, and the entire school would go through the fine arts rotation. but there would be like a few different groups of teachers for each grade as well. So like I might have these four teachers for my main teachers in fourth grade, but then there would be another class also in fourth grade that would have a different set of four teachers. Uh, but when it came time for middle school, we actually selected our classes, and it was the period structure. So you didn't stay with the same exact students throughout the entire day.
Okay.
So one of my class periods in middle school was social personal, as they called it. That was the specific class given to the and given to the students on the spectrum who needed to essentially be taught how to function as a normie. It, I think it really helped uh, throughout my 3 years of middle school, going through that, having one class each day to just teach me how to act like a normal person, but also how to kind of understand my own condition so that I could deal with it more. And if someone else couldn't, then I could also explain to them what was going on in my head. Because as I mentioned before, one of the big problems uh, that arose in elementary school was just not it was just that total breakdown of communication, me not understanding the other people and the other people not understanding me.
So yeah, mine was kind of interesting. Like, when it came to kids, for the most part, I could not understand and interact with them. Meanwhile, adults, I could, understand and interact with them perfectly fine, which, threw a lot of my teachers off. Which, I mean, fair, but, like, at the same time, it's like none of them really went the mile or even like a couple inches as far as that goes to actually really bother to teach me how to interact or any of that. So, because most of the singing from recess is, it's just quiet time, do a couple, like for someone it would be just do a couple lines or work on your homework or whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, like, I had to just kind of observe and, like, just try to piece bullshit together because I did not really teach anything for that. Hell, like with this one set teacher I get sent to, I'd just be having to work on revising my essay skills and correcting my handwriting because, well, to be quite frank with you, it's fucking chicken scratch, and that's being very polite. But, like, other than that, like, I really can't even say I learned to interact like with folks. So, like, other than adults, like, I was kind of screwed. I was having to just really, really just kind of mirror folks, which you know what mirroring is, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Like, that's basically what I had to do. That or watch like TV shows that had, social interactions, kind of try to piece shit together from that because there was no structure of any sort with me, like that I was really given with my issues. So, it was like, okay, this is how they interact in this thing. All right, cool. Kind of jot that down. Here's what I do. And hope for the best. Because, I mean, they just did not care to actually teach me any of that shit. And it's like, like I said, going back to that same question I keep asking, if this is what they were doing with me, what about the other kids with my issues or even semi similar issues, It, damn. Like for a while, I was even
Definitely.
kind of sorry to cut you off, trying to
Yeah.
model my behaviors off of that Tony DiNozzo character from the NCIS show and a couple others, and like I was just trying to do my best with that, and even just kind of some of the quote unquote teen dramas and that kind of thing, and just kind of hoping for the best. Cause I mean, what the hell else could I do, Like, sure, I'd hang out with
Yeah.
my next door neighbor who was my age, but I mean, still, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I outside of a school setting, I never really ended up spending time with people really my own age. Uh, I would I would either hang out with people a few years under me or a few years over me. It's just it it was weird. I could never really just communicate with my peers.
I mean, I could communicate with my next door neighbor, but like I'd known him since I was a really little kid. Like we were tight. Even saw him as a brother, because I mean, shit. Like I said, I'd known him since I was a little kid, because he was right next door. We're talking. I've known him like just about all 25 years of my life. Like he's been there. Like other than that, like I for a while like just struggled to communicate with my peers, and even now online I can't really say I communicate too well. Like I'm kind of caustic to a degree. Well, I mean, you've seen my shit. Kind of might be an understatement, but I mean, like at the same time, it's like it. Like this online age has actually made communicating with peers to a degree really a lot harder. Because going back to the last week's podcast, I mean, like I had a very different experience just with where I was using shit like VHS tapes and whatnot. You're excused. Yep.
Ah, yeah. Uh, and so I guess just moving on forward, with my own high school, and I still had my social personal class in my class period rotation, um, but you didn't do every single class that you were signed up for in high school. So one of them would be left out each day. Um, but I also, and part of the social personal program for them, uh, had had these little passes where I okay, and oh yeah, just seeing which type there. Don't mind. It had a little system where there were little passes where it's just like, hey, get out of class 10 minutes early so you can get to your next class on time without having to deal with the rush of everyone else around in the hallway. But really, I just abused that to leave school like a few minutes early, get get ahead of everyone before they clogged up the hallways, and then I could just get out, go home, because I lived right across from my high school.
I was
But
about, I think,
in
5 or 6 miles. Actually, no, a bit more. I think it's like 10, 13 miles. Far enough that the bus ride, I was one of the last kids. So, like, it'd be like an hour and a half, give or take. So, yeah, no, I get it. It, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, actually, my middle school and high school were just down the street from one another. But the middle school I had to ride my bike to, um, but the high school I could just walk to.
I,
It
it,
was it was pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good system for me.
the way my bus system handled it, if you were an elementary kid, you were getting like dropped off last. It was like an hour and a half ish drive to and from the elementary, but once you were in high school, there was like a 15, 20-ish minute drive like to the high school. Then you would be actually one of the last kids dropped off from the high school as well, because they'd pick up high school students first, then the elementary students on the way home.
All right. Yeah, I, I do remember being in like elementary school, and uh, one day there was like a a substitute bus driver, and they forgot the stop that my older brother and I got off on, and so they just kind of kept going after that. My older brother and I were like a couple of the only people who got off at that stop, so it was really awkward for him to just like go to his next route,
That
and like
sucks.
yeah, and then of course we had no idea where we were, so we had to give a call like, hey, the bus driver just we have a different bus driver today, and he just went past our stop and is going to his next route. So we had to coordinate with our parents to figure something out, which I'm sure that panicked them.
Oh
We're just
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, incidental, accidental kidnapping, but
Ah, all part of the
not
fun. Don't
really.
worry about it.
Yeah,
Oh, lordy. I
yeah,
remember if we're talking substitute bus drivers, I've had some. Well, even remember, like, we used to have to tell them, hey, this is where we're stopped, because, none of them actually bothered to study much of the route. So, it's like, hey, no, this is our house, this is our house. And then even sometimes, even telling them to stop, it's like we'd have to, like, a little bit up, be like, hey, stop, it's a stop. And then, like, we'd have to, some of us, double back just to make it back to our homes, which was like, why are you even a substitute bus driver if you don't even study the bus stop?
yeah.
Like,
Like if it's your job, this is your one job. Just drive
exactly.
these routes.
Oh, by the way, like I said, 36-minute mark. If you do see me mouthing that a semi-rude phrase, genuinely that wasn't at you. Like, apparently noise canceling is just not working on my microphone right now. So yeah, just letting you know that wasn't at you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. But
Base.
yeah, given our experiences, which sound vastly different, mine was just born out of incompetence but good intention. Yours seems to be out of both incompetence and just unwillingness to learn.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I'm not sure that like things have gotten any better.
Yeah, it doesn't help that, especially my district, somehow keeps its accreditation. Meanwhile, like they're kind of doing like even if it weren't for just the special ed stuff, even like the regular class, they were kind of doing the barest minimum, unless you were one of the well-connected kids who did lobster fishing or was in sports. Outside of that, unless you were connected to one of those families, you were kind of shit out of luck. Which, kind of sucked for a lot of reasons. Like, if you were lucky, you'd get set up for the JMG program, jobs for Maine graduates in high school. But again, if you were lucky, and hell, like, going back to the whole special ed thing, like, I was a part of a supervised study program. Like, I'd get, like, one whole period for myself, to which I'd be, if I was lucky, I'd get to do the, normal classes, but I get that period for studying and also just getting to relax. And then, despite my issues, they forced me out of that for junior year, so I had to start taking the regular classes again. And I got kind of screwed in a lot of ways, because, like, going back to why I dropped out, like, another thing that happened was they told me that, oh yeah, because we fucked up, not quite in those words, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because we fucked up, you're missing this credit, this credit, this credit, this credit, this credit, that credit, this credit, in order to graduate. But it's like, fuck, y'all are telling me I already need, like, I'm missing still 4 hours of fucking community service because we needed 20 hours of community service as well to graduate. But
Yep.
I'm missing this 4 hours of community service because you guys couldn't bother checking back in with the people you had me do community service with for this, like in this year with this very specific program. And at the same time, I'm supposed to do these credits because you fucked up and didn't get me to sign up for like these classes earlier. Maybe I'm like pointing too many fingers here, but y'all are pretty incompetent. And I didn't quite put it like that because, for one, I was a kid and I still had some modicum of respect for my authority figures, but, at the same time, like, that was very much what I was thinking. And it's like, shit, what?
Yeah.
Damn.
I totally forgot about the community service requirement to graduate until you mentioned it.
How many hours did you end up having?
Uh, I I don't remember. I don't remember what the requirement was for it,
Where I was, it
but
was 20
yeah, I
hours required.
that's probably about accurate. Uh, there was the St. Baldy's thing that happened every year,
St. Baldy's?
uh, where Yeah. It was like a cancer thing, if I recall correctly. I don't remember it fully.
The two community service events I did. One
Oh,
was
St. Baldrick's. There we go.
St. Baldrick's. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so St. Baldrick's, and so like you would pay $100, get your head shaved, and that would count as all the community service that you would ever need.
Okay. What I did was one of the
So
towns.
for like 5 minutes and $100, you can get your community service done instantly.
Okay. Like for me, the ones I did was an event called the Gobble Wobble, which they never counted, and I tried getting them to actually bother to communicate, but the principal did not give enough of a fuck to follow up, which sucked because I mean I needed those 4 hours and I had the time because of actually doing that Gobble Wobble. And then there was Cherryfield Days, which had its own like volunteer thing. So I was actually working for the cashier slash I say cashier, but just the registry check-in type deal. I was doing that all like 3 or 4 days, and like they did supply me with free coffee and donuts, which was nice. So like it was decaf, thankfully, but still, I mean, like I was doing that. Like they counted that one, but that Gobble Wobble event they did not actually set up. So I mean, like here I was, like even now, I look back at that and I kind of still get like pretty irritated because it's like, why are you setting me up for community service and for like and one for this event if y'all ain't even gonna count it anyways? And then, speaking of that, when I signed up after having like to re-get my disability, when I had to actually go through a lawyer because I got fucked out of that, um, I actually got asked, "Why do you have community service on your record?" And I said, "My high school required me to, me and the rest of the kids, like to get community service." And I got this weird look, and I was like, "What is that? Not normal?" And they never replied, but it was like I guess like that's kind of a weird thing. Like as far as I'd been aware, the community service was a normal thing, but apparently to the lawyers it wasn't. It was a very weird thing.
Yeah, that sounds weird because like you and I are very much many states apart from like where we went to school. So it's wild to hear that it just isn't a thing in some places and no one and someone just wouldn't have even heard of that.
Yeah, like especially like because these were main lawyers when I was going for my disability the second time, having to get it, the appeal so I could get my disability back. Like when that shit was getting sorted, I like that was my first time actually getting a weird look from a lawyer. Granted, like there was a couple other times that was more because I have this rather unfortunate habit, as you could tell, of autistically ranting. Um, which now, granted, that actually did help because I was getting the right detail sorted for these for the case. But I mean, still, like it surprised me that that seemed weird to them, that the community service thing, because as far as I knew, that was totally normal.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you had your threat for someone shooting up your school, whereas I had
No, they only threatened.
a
Thankfully, they never actually shot it up. They only threatened.
yeah, yeah. For me, we had a bomb threat that never went through. So we just kind of had to stand outside the school for a while the bomb squad searched the school, and it just took so long that eventually they're like, okay, we just have to just have to let all the students go.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, luckily for me, I lived right across from the school, so I didn't really need to call in. Well, actually, I did need to call someone that day because divorced parents, and it
Ooh,
was the other parents' day.
my parents
But
were divorced too. Had been since I was a kid. My or the guy I call the sperm donor is my my biological father. I don't talk to the guy. We are entirely estranged, but I used to have to see him every other weekend. He also used to pay child support, whatever. But like I used to have to like see him. Thankfully, he didn't pick me up from school because everyone knew that one was a kind like a pretty bad idea. But still, like yeah, like if I would have gone to anyone, it would have been my mother picking me up from having from work, coming early or whatever. But for the most part, I just had to kind of tough things out because like I lived with my mom and my grandparents, so I'd be mom would actually work pretty long hours, so I would just usually have to just take the bus. And like I remember a lot of the time when I was a little kid, mom wouldn't get home till like 10 or 11 o'clock. But like for the most part, like so it'd be either be calling ma or just like I said, toughened out.
Yeah, luckily, my parents were generally on good terms. It's just they were not right for each other.
Yeah,
So it it was just a little annoying having to change houses
my
each. Yeah.
mine were not very good with each other. The guy I call a sperm donor was not even all that good for me. Like, sure, I got to play some pretty cool video games when I was a kid, and I got to check out, all these interesting movies, but at the same time, he didn't know how to be a parent. He was genuinely a very vile person, and some of the shit I've heard, both from him and people who have been either in his circle or actually personally knew him. Like like while I'm glad to have been born, like it's a bad it sucks that he's my father. It's yeah. And then I got a half sister out of it, and then a half brother out of it. The half sister, I'm really not in her life like I should be, but at the same time, it's very hard to reach out just with the association of her mother, and then also just still all the lingering shit because of the sperm donor, as I call him. And kind of sucks that I missed out on most of her life. And then with my half brother, like I still haven't seen him. He's only a baby still, but the sperm donor gave up all parental rights on him, which was a good thing. But fuck, man, it's very hard. Just all the shit going on, just to even reach out. Sorry to just kind of dump this on you, but it's just, man,
No, no. Hey, you do not have to apologize. I'm more than down to listen.
it just
It
sucks,
it
man.
I know that my silence may be like may seem like being stunned or whatever, but it, I'm just letting you have your piece.
Yeah, fair, but I'm not trying to cut you off or take away your time, man.
Hey, it's not my time. It's not necessarily your time. It's both.
Yeah, fair.
It's all good. Plus it also gives me the chance to like think of the next thing to say.
Fair enough.
uh, yeah. Although I actually am kind of, and although I actually do kind of and have kind of like reached the limit of like what I can really say on this matter. So I guess it's fine to go into the other portion of like what was cool when we were 12 is what is still cool today.
Big tits, Arnold Schwarzenegger, dinosaurs, lasers, and well, shit, airplanes.
Yeah,
I remember like they
yeah.
used
I
to say,
remember.
"Nah, bro, that shit ain't cool. You were just a dumb kid." And it's like, "Nah, dude, that shit is still cool now. Hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, yeah. Still, I still think it's all cool to this day.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just going for the meme when I was talking about,
And
big tits, Arnie, laser, and all that.
oh, oh yeah, especially because I think you probably saw it on your own timeline where people are arguing about Linkin Park's "In the End" music video.
That's
Oh
part of
yeah,
why
the
I brought up this subject, because, I mean, come on, you're really gonna sit here and tell me what was, for the time, like a technological masterpiece, and just even now, still a good song. You're gonna really sit here and pull that revisionist history shit? Come on, dude, just be secure in yourself and admit that shit is still pretty cool now, and that's a good song, you know?
yeah,
Like, I feel like a lot of this,
it
oh, this shit is not.
absolutely is.
Sorry. Like, I was just gonna.
Yeah, it absolutely is still cool, and the song is cool, the music video is cool. I don't care what they say, it's still cool. Thomas the Tank Engine, I still have my freaking wooden Thomas the Tank Engine Brio toy set. I haven't broken it out in years, and actually, it's still stored with my parents for now. But I absolutely plan on like passing that down because they're they're good quality toys.
I still have some Hot Wheels here and there that I never got rid of because they
Oh,
still hold sentimental value. Like, yeah. I think like a lot of this, oh, this shit ain't cool. Like mindset comes from a place of pretty deep insecurity. You know what I mean?
oh, absolutely. Just not wanting to not wanting to admit that you know what sometimes you just have it right,
Hmm.
and also and just trying to conform to what everyone else expects,
Like speaking of cool,
which
I have a trackball mouse. Like, I, it was always
ooh,
one of the coolest things to me, and I use this like every day. This is my daily driver. This is like still one of the coolest things in the world. I I remember for a while people were saying, "No, trackball mice sucked." Even it's like, really? Like I went out of my way to buy this for myself back in like I think 22 or 23. Like this shit is still awesome. Like I don't know why we
yeah,
moved away from them, you know what I mean?
yeah, and like if I could easily find a trackball mouse that had like the MMO buttons on the side,
I think they do
then I
sell
would
them.
ooh,
Like I'd say look on Amazon
that,
because like
that,
I got
that
this trackball mouse for about 25, I'd like to say, a couple years ago, and they still sell them.
yeah, I'm absolutely gonna have to find it because the I, like not the kind that has it like up top, but the one that has the uh trackball on the bottom, right?
I'm not sure about ones on the bottom, but like I got one of the ones that got the trackball on the side of the mouse.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they do
I
sell them
mean,
with it on the
that
top
works
too.
for some people, but I prefer to like actually use my entire forearm to move the mouse around.
That's fair.
I'm not really a fan of the trackball, but you know what? It is absolutely a perfectly viable option,
I saw this
and I'm not
one
gonna shame for that.
like trackball mouse that looked more like a yoga mat. Like
Huh.
it was really weird. Like it kind of had this weird like wavy rectangle with buttons, and the ball was kind of like in the middle of the mouse. It was very fascinating, and that was only like a couple weeks ago. Because I'd assumed this was dead, but then I pulled out of storage and recharged it for the help, and all of a sudden it was working perfectly fine again. Like
Yeah.
I'm not sure like what they're doing, but I like that they are still innovating and doing really cool mouse designs still.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what else was absolutely cool that I'm so disappointed that it's gone? Everyone, everyone agrees. All right, we know it. Everyone agreed. The translucent technology was beautiful.
Agreed. Like
I miss being able to see the components.
that's why even though I don't buy it, I still I have an appreciation for prison tech, which well, I know that's gonna sound like a really weird kind of just thing to say out of nowhere, but a lot of prison tech still has the transparent aesthetic. Now, granted, it's to make sure people aren't hiding contraband in their stuff, but I mean, still, like, it is transparent technology. And of course, go figure would be the like actual prisoners who get all the cool transparent tech. Like, man,
Yeah.
I can't believe we're tax funding the people who gave up their societal rights to get all the cool technology. Come on, Department of Corrections, make that shit come out for everyone, not just the cons.
Yeah, like my older brother had like his Game Boy Color, because I mentioned I still have mine. His was that translucent purple color. I had the solid purple,
I
but I
had a.
like to see all the circuitry inside.
If you're talking about Game Boy Color, if your Game Boy Color is dying, like I'd say look into the analog pocket, because that actually plays, from what I understand, like the actual like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance cartridges. If you're having issues with,
Oh,
yeah, like that came out a couple years ago and it looked pretty cool. I wonder if they actually still sell that. Una momento. Uh, analog pocket. Let's see. Yep, they do apparently still sell it. Oh, it also apparently supports. Yep, it supports the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridge library. And it also apparently works with cartridge adapters for the Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket Color, TurboGrafx 16, Atari Lynx, and more, apparently. Because it's apparently engineered in 2 FPGA, so you're not actually emulating.
ah.
Yeah, and apparently,
I
yeah.
I mean I don't understand that last little part. How is it not emulating? Because like you actually need the cartridge still.
Yeah, so it's engineered with an FPGA system, two of them specifically. Don't ask me what an FPGA is, because to this day I still have no fucking clue. But I'm trying. Oh, it's even got display mode, so you can make it look like a CRT. The original like SP 101, which I guess the Game Boy Advance SP model, the original like Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket Light, the I guess original the analog version of that, and then the like original Game Boy Color LCD look.
Hmm.
Again, no idea how that works, but it does apparently. It even has a dock so you can connect it to your desktop, or I say your desktop, but I mean to your words are failing me, to your television or to your monitor.
Oh.
Even has its own operating system for it, Pocket OS, which I guess is more for organizational purposes because you can set up save states.
Nice. Yeah, I most of my Game Boy Color games are gone these days. I think I only still have Wario Land 2 and Monsters Inc. Oh, wait, no. I have uh Super Mario Land? Is
Oh,
that it?
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Super Mario Land. It's the sticker's kind of completely destroyed. So it's a little difficult to really tell what it is these days. But if I
Hold on,
just,
let me actually get this that way the folks at home can see. Yeah, see? That's pretty cool.
yeah, yep.
Before I actually sold like my stuff, I had Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, Yara's Revenge. I had that Star Wars game where you were in the Millennium Falcon. That was a shoot 'em up. And I
Ah,
had like one of the Pokemon games, if I remember, and then like 5 or 6 other games. But the only ones that really stuck out to me were basically just Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition because I played. Fuck, I played so many hours of Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition back in the day. Like that is still to
yeah.
this day my favorite Game Boy Advance game. Like I probably got at least 200-300 hours in that if I had to roughly guesstimate because I was playing that shit all the way from like before kindergarten all the way to, hold on, I gotta get this big so people can see again. Like from kindergarten all the way to like a couple years ago when I sold it. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So this is still in pretty good yeah, this is still in pretty good condition. And you can see it through. In post, could you kind of like remove my
I
my
have
name that
no
I accidentally
idea.
just flashed?
Like it looked pretty blurry,
It
so it should be good, but I have no idea how to edit videos, dude. So I'm just gonna.
dang. All
I'm
right.
sorry, dude.
Well, at least yeah, at least it's just first name. But yeah,
It was
I have
so
like
blurry, like I couldn't make it out, so you should theoretically be fine. But
all right, yeah, it's just first name too. Because like the reason I was holding my thumb over the very top of the other one is because it shows last name as well.
ah,
But
I
yeah, old purple Game Boy,
I had a
and I
green
even
one.
have
Ooh,
the
nice.
like carrying system for it.
That is really cool. We're talking Game Boys. I
Yeah.
remembered like there was this one actually cool kid when I was a kid who brought like his Game Boy Color that had all the different attachments. We're talking the magnifying
Oh yeah.
glass, had the light, had the external speakers, and a copy
What
of Driver
what
2.
kind of light did he have?
If I remember right, it was one that was like attached to the magnifying glass, I think, because it had like this whole case that it was a part of it, which I think you actually attached batteries to.
Yes. So
And he had
I
Driver
didn't have it
2.
for my color. I didn't have it for my Game Boy Color, but for my Game Boy Advanced, I used to have I used to have one of those forward lights because the Game Boy Advance didn't have a backlight, unlike the SP. And it was like a little dragon that curled around. Uh, I think you could put batteries in it, but my memory may be failing me. But I think you could also plug it into the into the top of it, and it would draw power from the device itself.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But that could just be my memory failing me.
I mean, I can't say anything about memory failing because, again, brain damage, but I mean, that sounds about right. I remember one of my classmates back when I was in elementary school actually had a Game Boy Advance, like the original model, and that was that was really cool. It kind of reminded me in terms of looks, like Nintendo was trying like its version of the PSP almost, which obviously now I realize is kind of the other way around. Kind of Nintendo kind of ripped off the Game Boy Advance in terms of aesthetics, but still, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Now I got all my sort of like earlier tech stuff around. Ooh, I, these are forgotten gems. Gonna turn camera on again,
All right, hold on.
quick.
Game Boy
The
Advance
Game Boy
video.
Advance video.
I remember actually seeing one of those about 6 years ago, still on the Walmart shelf, and it was Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't have all of mine anymore, but I still have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to have a SpongeBob one. Uh, hmm. And a Kids Next Door one. That's what I'm thinking
Was
of.
it Operation Soda? Oh wait, no, you're talking the actual video, not the game.
Yeah, yeah, that had like 4 episodes on it.
Nice. You
Oh
remember
yeah,
the
now
Mattel
I'm
juice
seeing like
box?
all my like Spyro cartridges as well.
Hell yeah. But do you remember the Mattel juice box?
Um, Not necessarily. Potentially jog my memory.
This was like this kind of like personal video player. It's kind of similar to the Video Now, if you remember that one. Except this was
No.
Mattel's own option. Actually had even its own demos on the system itself, but they also sold honest little cartridges. There was like regular, there was 60, I say regular, it was like 4 meg, 16 meg. I think like the highest was like 64 megs. And like the one I had was like there was this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles juice box cartridge. Couldn't tell you what episode because I mean that was almost 20 years ago, give or take. Actually, it's probably closer to 18 or 17, but yeah, it's so long ago, it's very hard to remember. But I had that one, and I had a cartridge that was music videos of the time, and I couldn't even tell you what music videos or any of that they were. But like I said, it was like I don't know how long the juice box lasted, but it was pretty cheaply made, and like it was entirely dedicated to videos. There were no games, as far as I'm aware, but just like a handheld video thing. And when it uh, launched up, there was a kind of juice box sipping sound, and then it would say juice box. It's kind of an interesting little device, but it was like so cheaply made, the material. Like there were a couple tech channels that covered in the last couple years, and the juice box itself is melting now, or when I say melting, but returning back to oil because it was that poorly made, the plastic. Which is a shame, but I mean at the same time, the 2000s like that, I guess it's not too surprising. But man, you know, it's kind of a shame how poorly made some of the tech was back then, how cheaply made it was.
Yeah. Some of it was just very cheaply made to get out quickly, but other stuff was made to really last.
That it was. What old technology do you have other than the Game Boy and whatnot?
Um, let's see. Yeah, I'm pacing around my office just having a look at the stuff. But yeah, really uh my Game Boys and as I mentioned before, my PlayStation 1. You know what? I can go and grab my PS1.
No problem.
Uh, there we go. It did get a little bit damaged getting shipped from my parents' house to where I am now.
Ah, yes, you're
But
right in Timbuktu, right?
yeah, may as well be.
Oh shit, you
But
got a
yeah,
PS1
so
screen? Hell yeah, dude.
yeah, so this little part where the second controller would plug in damaged, so that doesn't work.
That's
But
fine. Like
other
you
than
actually
that,
have
yeah,
the actually like the model that's actually called the PS1.
yeah,
I had one of these back
yep,
in the
and
day.
it's
If
still
that's awesome.
yeah, it still runs.
I never had the PS1 screen or even the PS2 screen, but I always thought those were really cool when I was a kid. Still do,
Yep.
honestly.
Yeah, and of course the screen can be taken off and you can still use the rest of it just fine. I actually I brought this thing into college one day and and booted up freaking Pajama Sam, you are what you eat from your head to your feet on it.
Okay.
And I, people didn't like make fun of it. They're like, that is actually pretty darn neat.
Yeah, no, like that's
I don't think it was because of Pajama Sam necessarily, but just because, it's a PS1, it's original hardware.
yeah, that's always really cool. It's why I kind of miss when we use sure we have portable monitors now, but like I miss back when we had the screens we could get that came with the that could come with the cons that were official parts. And why I really am
Yeah,
kind of sad that Microsoft didn't do that for the Xbox, the 360, or even the One and the Series consoles. Like, sure, you can, or at least could back in the early to mid Xbox One days, buy the portable case which had the screen you could attach with a little power brick for the Xbox One and the PS4. But I mean, like that wasn't actually like official or any of that, and it cost like about half, if not the actual price of the console. And it's like, man, you know, like
yeah.
to like go into gaming, it kind of feels like this may be the last generation of video game consoles. You know what I mean?
Potentially, because like at this point, uh, even Valve, Republic of Gamers, and even Windows are creating their own little handhelds to compete with the Switch. And once you have the massive library and modding potential of the PC, it in an actual like affordable setup comparable to consoles, then it's like, well, what's the point of the console anymore?
Yeah, for real, cause hell, I mean, GPD's been doing that since I was a kid. Like even prior to the GPD win, they had their own handheld quote unquote console PC. Then, when it came to the whole Switch arms race, there was also the MSI Claw and the Lenovo Legion Go. Not sure if you remember either of those.
Uh, someone I work with actually did have the Lenovo one.
How was it actually? Like, if I remember it, that actually was the one which had the detachable controllers like the Nintendo Switch.
It he just thought it was all right. It didn't really. Uh, he doesn't work with me anymore. He went on to better and brighter things. Um, but yeah, and the games that he wanted to play worked just fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm,
Like, with
yeah,
my ROG Ally, like, I occasionally use it, but, I mean, while it is cool, some of the bells and whistles it has, like, the ROG Ally is actually, especially for its price, pretty weak. Like, hopefully the
yeah,
newer version is better, but I can't believe that it is for the price tag. Which, man,
yeah.
like, they had a good thing going with the ROG Ally and the one with the Z1 Extreme. What the hell are they thinking with the Xbox Ally?
I have no idea because like and I don't even have like the newest Steam Deck either. I got one pretty darn early and not even the top one, and it's still running just fine for all that I want. Uh, Granted, for the most part, I'm essentially using it as a cable box right now, but when I need to travel for work, I 100% bring that thing, and everything that I actually want to play on the go works just fine.
A lot of my stuff for that one does not work fine because, well, a lot of my thing is, like, I play, like, when I'm on Steam, I play a fair few of the quote unquote newer games. Now, granted, right now I don't have too many of the newer games installed, but I mean, Cyberpunk, one of the games that supposedly runs well on the deck, at least with the Ally, even on its lowest settings, really runs pretty poorly. We're talking, even with all the shit like FSR and that turned on, like it gets a very shaky 30. And with the Steam Deck
Mm.
settings like that, oh boy, no. Because the Steam Deck settings, for whatever reason, turn on, like actually turn up your settings a little bit to like low, medium, as opposed to just straight low, and they actually turn on ray tracing. Now, granted, it's ray tracing on low, but I mean, on integrated graphics? Good lord. Like, and like, even if it's not for the whole thing with, that I play a lot of, or some newer games, another problem it has is like a lot of the games that I play require keyboard and mouse, and I'm not sure if you ever
Yeah.
tried doing USB devices on one of these handhelds without the dock, so you're also charging, but it eats through your battery like a fat person eats through a buffet. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, don't even get me started on Bluetooth. Like that's
Yeah.
one of
I
the
mean,
reasons
that's
why.
why for
Sorry.
I I think one of the major reasons that I haven't had problems with either battery or performance on my Steam Deck is because I'm not really playing games that are that intense. I think the most intensive game that I played on it was Dragon Quest 11.
Okay.
Uh, Other than that, the games that I tend to play on my Steam Deck are, let's see, Papers, Please, which is very much not
Glory
graphically
to
or
our Stotska! Death to the filthy Corlichian swine!
indeed. Which, yeah, not very intensive at all. The Swindle, What else? Ooh, Encased, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG.
Have you played Atom RPG?
I have, yes. And
Nice.
I think that Adam is okay, not great, not terrible, but its sequel, Trudograd, oh, that's good.
Hell yeah. Like other
Yeah,
th-
it it brings back that feeling of like the old style RPG, which admittedly I didn't start playing until long after its heyday.
Likewise.
Because when family first got our PC, I was playing, the various PopCap games, Plants vs Zombies, uh,
Peggle?
Insane Aquarium Deluxe. What else?
I think you can
Oh
actually
man,
still buy like those as well as Feeding Frenzy and the Bejeweled games on
yep,
Steam.
y- absolutely. In fact, I do indeed have them. Um, as well as the entire catalog of humongous games. So all of the Pajama Sam series, all the Freddy Fish series, which I did indeed have some of the discs for growing up. Man, CD-ROM games were also just really nice.
Agreed. Especially like for Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction. Always a good time.
Oh man, yeah, I was not big enough into PC gaming at the time to play those.
Oh, I wasn't either, but like that was my first friggin' PC game, and just like one of my first, if not the first video game I ever played in general. Obviously, it's like 5 or 6, so a hair too young, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
I was given the game to play on the old like e-machine with a Celeron, and like it worked fine. So I was like, fuck it, if I'm allowed to play Diablo 2 and they're letting me play Diablo 2, I'm gonna play Diablo 2, right? Like that,
yeah.
that was a good time. I think my favorite character I had back in the day was a barbarian. I was running two-handed, a sword, and a mace. I'd like to say, like the one of the swords I was using was a regular two-hander, and then the mace was just like a regular one-hander mace. Good times.
All right.
Oh, yeah, and that,
Yeah,
and then the
and my
Jack-specific Mortal
first
Kombat plug and play. Oh, sorry,
my first like PC games were freaking like Blue's Clues and Freddy Fish.
nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean like hey, I was the age for it at the time, so
I was
yeah.
apparently the age for Diablo, and I suppose if I was the age, even though I most definitely wasn't, I wasn't about to say no. And then, like I said, I got given
Yeah.
the Jack specific plug and play for Mortal Kombat as well, so that was always fun.
Oh man, plug and play games where you just put it in and where you yeah, where you just plug it into your TV and then you'd be able to play. I used to have one of those, the Nickelodeon one. So I got to play a couple of SpongeBob games, like the SpongeBob board game on the plug and play. There was a Rocket Power game on it as well, and a SpongeBob Krabby Patty delivery game,
I
and one
had,
more.
I
Oh
had,
yeah, Channel Chasers.
ooh, nice. If I
Funny that
remember
there were
right,
two SpongeBob games on that plug and play.
if I had remember right, I had Mortal Kombat. I had this one Star Wars one, which had basically a Kinect-like thing, and it actually came with a physical training lightsaber. I had a
Hmm,
Dragon Ball Z plug-and-play fighter, and then I had a couple of Marvel superheroes ones. Those were fun.
sounds like it.
Probably like the one I have the most memories with is the Mortal Kombat one. I was a Johnny Cage main back in the day, so I'd be just trying to make my way up to Shang Tsung, and I actually never made it past Goro until like 4 or 5 years ago with the Mortal Kombat arcade collection. I'm sorry that I keep cutting you off, dude. It's genuinely not my
No, 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 no,
intent.
no, no, no. I like I said, I, I just don't always think of what I want to say next. So it's not necessarily that you're cutting me off, and then I just don't say anything after. It's that I'm still trying to think of what next.
Fair enough. Like I try
Uh,
formatting this podcast so like just like a casual chat between friends. Now, granted, back
yeah,
for the original run of StarchCast, it was more covering this or that friggin' drama that was coming up, or this or that thing, and like whatever we wanted to talk about at the time. But like for the most part, I always tried formatting it as just a chat between friends.
yeah, yeah. I haven't seen every episode, but I did. But I did at least do a little bit of homework before volunteering for this as well.
Oh, you did actually do some homework? Should I be afraid?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah.
score high,
I
teacher?
yes. Good marks. But yeah, I did take a look at previous episodes as well, so that because I don't want to volunteer for something and then try to change it. As we kind of discussed previously about tourists and whatnot, you don't want to go into something not understanding it at all and then demand it now cater to you.
That reminds me, actually,
So I wanted to give you the same sort of respect.
I appreciate that. That actually reminds me, had my plans actually gone correctly, one of my first episodes was actually going to be an interview between me and a mortician. However,
Ooh,
that plan fell through because the guy also did his homework and he was like, as much as I appreciate it, this is not for me. Thank you for understanding. Have a wonderful day. The guy was like really, really polite and really gracious about it. And I said, what? That's fair enough. Thank you for being
yeah,
honest and honest and polite. Have a wonderful day. Drive safe, or be safe. Something along those
yeah,
lines. He's like, fear not. I shall stay safe. Which kind of struck me as odd. But you know what? Dude was polite and friendly. I wasn't about to be like, okay. You know what I mean?
yeah. Also, just one moment. My wife wants to say something to me.
Okie dokie. Yeah, morticians are pretty nice dudes. But, like, that's kind of a hell of a career. Kind of a shame I couldn't get that mortician guy on. Yo, mortician guy, if you're like occasionally still popping in my on my content, if you did actually ever come back to look at it, seriously, come say hi, even if it's just an email. I'm totally down to talk.
Yeah, and yeah, my wife just thought that she overcooked the meatballs,
No problem.
but I don't know. I'm not very. I I was about to say I'm not very picky, but I am. But
I'm not
I
picky
I,
at
I thought it
all.
was fine.
Like, I'll try anything once. My only real hard limits are I don't like liver. Other than that, I will eat
Hmm.
anything. I was growing up, like, broke as shit. I couldn't afford to be, like, picky. Like, you probably saw my post a couple days ago where, this dude was going, oh, I'm struggling. Meanwhile, dude was having a ham sandwich on artisanal white bread like, with semi, or at least pricier than French's Dijon, and, like, had ham. Meanwhile, when I was a kid, we used to literally eat dandelion greens. Like, we'd actually go out into our yard, forage some of that shit, boil it, and boom, dinner. And that dude's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm struggling. Like, I'd never wanted to reach through a friggin' phone and throttle someone as much as I had when I saw that post. Because, like, dude, you can talk about the struggle and you have to quite literally go out in your yard and forage for food. Which, at least dandelion greens are edible and nutritious. Like, they're actually pretty good for you. Like, if you're in a pretty bad situation, dandelion greens are pretty good, though the whole dandelion plant is edible. So, if you are hard up, survival tip, I guess.
Yeah, and apparently dandelion tea has some pretty good health benefits.
The one time I tried dandelion tea, it was okay, but like I can't say that I'd recommend it because for one, it was extremely pricey for what you get. And for two, even if it wasn't for the fact it was really pricey for what you get, the other problem was that like it like the whatever they used for dandelions were like it didn't even have the dandelion flavor or any of that. And I know that shit by heart because I've been having dandelions since I was a kid. So when I tried this, I was pretty thrown off. Like maybe it's just the one brand, but it was supposedly one of those all natural botanical type brands. They were selling at Wally World a while ago. But I'd say, if you're gonna do dandelion tea, like get and dry your own dandelions as opposed to buying from the store.
Yeah, I even and regardless though, I'm still not much of a tea drinker.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I don't drink tea. I don't drink coffee. I don't even drink alcohol. Uh, I don't. It it's especially crazy for myself as well because like I I don't I don't smoke. I don't dip. I don't do Zyn or any other or any other similar thing. So it's weird.
I mean, nothing wrong with being pretty straight edge. Like I'm kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
I've smoked tobacco, I've smoked weed, I've vaped weed, I've had weed edibles, I've drank a fair bit of alcohol. I've other than that, like obviously I love my coffee. I have a cup every morning, usually with it's like, a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar, and lately obviously with a shot of espresso where I had instant espresso, but like other than that I'll just drink herbal tea, regular tea, or water. So like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
And I might not have many vices, but I can't resist the smooth taste of a Dr. Pepper.
I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. You're still getting your caffeine fix. There's about 65 milligrams a bottle.
I got cans, but yeah.
65 milligrams a
How much
can, I
is in?
should say.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much is in. Could be 65 milligrams for all I know.
From what I understand, like
But
it's pretty standard across Dr. Pepper, unless you're going for the caffeine free. Like that's about 65 milligrams, which is, I believe, less than your average cup of coffee. But like if you're going for a Mountain Dew, they add like another third to that, so you're getting about usually 95 calories, if I remember right. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but usually still in the double-digit milligram range. Unless you're actually going out of your way to
okay.
buy caffeine-free soda, they usually range from about 60 to 95 milligrams.
Hmm, neat. Uh, but I think at this point now, I kind of need to drink some sort of caffeinated beverage. I've been having other health issues, and it actually got worse at the start of this week
I'm sorry to
when I
hear.
ran out of Dr. Pepper.
Ah, caffeine addiction.
I don't think it's caffeine addiction. I think it's carbonation because like when you drink a carbonated beverage, the carbonic acid and whatnot actually helps you digest stuff. And I think that I've just had so much soda as of late that now my body's kind of like dependent on the extra acid to help me through it.
I mean, maybe, but I used to drink soda all the time when I was a kid, and when I got off of drinking soda, because like, that's a very rare thing for me to drink soda. Like, I didn't get those things. Like, it genuinely sounds to me more like caffeine addiction. Like, somehow I've never been addicted to caffeine, because, like, I will go off, like, from drinking coffee or that for, like, a week plus. Like, I don't get the withdrawal symptoms, but it kind of sounds to me like you might possibly have caffeine addiction. Like, I'm not about to say I know what the hell I'm talking about because, I'm
Right.
not a medical doctor, but just going off experience, especially having weaned myself off of, like, tobacco and whatnot, like, it sounds very similar, like your body's potentially got a dependence.
I mean, I will definitely say that that's probably not the case, but I don't want to go into too much detail about my specific issue, but it is maybe there is a little bit of caffeine dependency from there, but the main cause of the issue I definitely think is problems with digestion.
I mean, I understand that one myself. I suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, and I have since I was born. So yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm either stopped up or I'm basically stuck with a seatbelt in the restroom. So yeah, no, I fully get it, dude.
Yeah. But I also uh fairly recently, as in within the past year, got into starting to try and brew my own sodas.
Nice.
So I started with making just a cream soda,
You're creaming in your
which
soda.
I
Damn,
thought
bro.
was
How indecent. Put it away.
which I thought went pretty okay. And then I went on to make a wild blueberry soda
Oh, nice.
because my wife and I picked some blueberries, so came back, boiled them up, turned them into soda syrup. But when you pick wild fruits, they don't have nearly as much flavor as the cultivated ones. So you needed so much syrup to the carbonated water as a ratio in order to taste anything. And I just thought that was a bit of a failure.
I mean, if we're talking fruits that are grown, cultivated as opposed to wild. Like I actually grow my own gooseberries on my own currants, and I actually just had a pretty good
Ah,
currant harvest. I've got like I think a gallon bag full, and that was only like maybe, like we're talking maybe, and this is being pretty conservative with my guesstimate here. Maybe a bit liberal with my guesstimate. Probably not even a 20th of the bush, but like it was already too late when we realized it was time to harvest. So just got what we could that wasn't ruined.
mm,
Actually, I think it
yeah.
was like 2 bags, but still.
I will say though, the lesson learned from the wild blueberry experiment did help me later on.
Okay.
Uh, then I decided to try to make a cinnamon soda,
Oh no.
which not nearly as bad as you're probably thinking.
I was thinking
It was
Fireball on
indeed a
steroids.
very it basically tasted like you were just drinking straight up cinnamon, which for people who like cinnamon, really good.
Do you
For
remember?
people who don't like the taste of pure cinnamon, really bad. It's a very polarizing flavor.
Do you remember those like cinnamon kind of jawbreakers from back in the day?
Oh man, I hated those, which
That
is
was
probably why I wasn't really a fan of the cinnamon soda.
like that's more what I was thinking when you mentioned that cinnamon soda, like one of those like jawbreakers.
Yeah,
I miss those
yeah.
jawbreakers. It's a shame they don't seem to sell them anymore. Those were awesome.
They do make candy that are just like pure cinnamon flavor.
I mean, fair, but it's not the same as just sucking on a jawbreaker for a while.
Yeah, sometimes you just want some balls in your jaw.
If that's a proposition, I'm just gonna warn you, dude. You're married. I'm not a home wrecker. I ain't no filthy slut, brother.
uh, uh, but yeah, what I let my coworkers try my sodas as well, and something that one of my coworkers said inspired me to make an apple pie flavored soda.
Okay, so I'm guessing apple, vanilla, cinnamon, maybe some notes of that almost kind of yeasty flavor. Maybe kind of a almost cream flavor just to kind of round out the vanilla.
Pretty much the only things I put into it were apples, vanilla extract, uh, sugar, uh, to be brown sugar, raw cane sugar, and white granulated sugar, and cinnamon.
Okay,
Put all that together, it's pretty darn good.
sounds
I
like
used Granny Smith and Honeycrisp apples.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh yeah, I still have a jar because like you I had to make a big batch because when you're putting apples in it, you need a pretty good amount of like water to balance it. And then I always do my sugar to water ratio at 2 to 1 to make sure that the syrup is toxic enough that cultures can't survive in it. Just a natural preservative,
Yeah, it makes
essentially.
sense.
So even though I made the apple pie soda syrup over a year ago now, it still tastes as fresh as the day I made it.
That's awesome.
And the last soda syrup that I've made is salmon berry.
What is a salmon berry?
Salmon berry is a type of wild berry that only grows on the Pacific coast.
Okay.
It 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 kind of looks like a raspberry, but it can be anywhere from like yellow, orange to red. And when you pick it, it looks like a clutch of salmon eggs.
Okay.
So my wife and I picked a bunch of salmon berries because I was specifically trying to look for making a salmon berry soda. And as I learned from the wild blueberry, wild berries on their own have very little flavor. So even though it is mostly salmon berry, I put just a little bit of lime juice in there, and it really brings out the flavor of the salmon berry itself. You don't taste the lime, but you can definitely taste the salmon berry. It gets a lot stronger thanks to the presence of the citric acid.
Okay.
So each of the things that I did just built on the other, teaching me little lessons about making these syrups.
Makes sense. Out of curiosity, what was your favorite one to make?
Um, Probably the apple pie because and I guess just because of the complexity of it. So and the way that I went around making it, because like I the previous night I'd made my cinnamon soda and then I brought it the next morning to let my coworkers try it. And when one of them said like it tastes like it's missing something, maybe some sort of like maybe if you mixed it with some apple juice, and that just put an idea in my head. I went so when I was released for lunch, uh, I actually went ahead, bought bought a couple of apples, and during lunch, during my lunchtime, I cut up the apples, boiled all the stuff together, made up the measurements on the spot, and then after lunch, I come back with the apple pie flavor soda, and they're like, "Hey, remember what you said this morning? How does this taste now? I just made it."
Nice.
Oh man, yeah, it was like two Honeycrisp apples with one Granny Smith, I think. Thank you. Two Honeycrisp apples with one Granny Smith, like I want to say like 6 or 7 of those cinnamon sticks that are like half the length of the long ones. It's like the small cinnamon sticks.
Ah, yes, the micro
Uh,
sticks.
6 cups of sugar, uh, two each of brown sugar, white granulated, and raw cane sugar, to 3 cups of water, and a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Uh, Boil it all together until the sugar is completely dissolved into the water. Take it off the heat. Let it steep for about an hour. Take all the solid stuff out, and there you have the syrup.
Nice. That sounds pretty good.
After which you just add about 1 ounce of the syrup to a serving of about 16 ounces. and that's really all you need. Maybe if the flavor's not quite enough for you, you can go 1.5, maybe 2 ounces, but then you're kind of pushing it.
Fair. I remember back shit, probably I don't know, 10, probably more than 10 years ago, but actually no, I know it was more than 10 years ago, but somewhere in that ballpark anyways, I got soda water and I was like, "Wow, this stuff is awful. What can I do to make it better?" Oh, I know. Throw a little bit of Kool-Aid in it. Can you see where this is going?
Yep. Yeah, you pretty much just made Kool-Aid soda.
Incorrect. That shit exploded.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, I tried the same thing with seltzer water, and I made basically a volcano. That did far better than the like I'm not even kidding here. That did far better than the baking soda and vinegar volcano type deals.
oh dear.
Yeah, because I was
You know what? That's probably why there was so much gas when I tried to mix soda water with Crystal Light earlier this week.
oh, it definitely was. Like whatever they do for
I mean,
those
granted, I
powders.
added it. Yeah, I added the carbonated water to the powder pretty slowly as well, but it just instantly foamed way up, and then I had to wait for the bubbles to die down before I added more.
Yeah, no, for whatever reason, like it's just something with the powder, whatever is in it that caused it to react, does a similar but stronger reaction than baking soda and vinegar.
Hmm.
Yeah, found that one out the hard way, and let me tell you, trying to clean up those floors, and the mess I made sucked.
I believe it.
Yeah, yeah. So pro
Even
tip:
even with
don't.
Yeah, even with my own soda syrups, I had to find out the best way to mix it with the carbonated water as well. Because first few attempts, I definitely got stuff all over the counter because I wasn't quite mixing it right. Eventually, I figured out I just gotta get like a freaking little cooking syringe, suck up all the syrup that I need for it, and then just inject it into the soda water.
Inject. Damn, bro, you're telling me you got a whole syringe set up? All right, calm down there, Walter White.
Yeah, it was pretty funny bringing it into the potluck at work a couple days ago. People were like, and we were like, Tax, why do you have a syringe? Just like, oh, for my homemade sodas, I have the instructions right here. The syringe is for measuring out the syrup level.
I swear, the syringe is going into the soda water, not into my arm, please.
I mean, it's one of those like turkey basting or otherwise cooking sort of syringes, so it has like the two holes in it as well, one at the tip and then a little bit further up.
Ah, it's got a Prince Albert.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was such a stupid joke.
all good, all good. I love stupid jokes. It's like a few years ago, I went to like a game design summer camp, right?
Oh, nice.
And I just made the worst jokes throughout the entire thing. And there was like a brownie points board and whatnot.
Oh
And I
no.
found out that I could lose points by making stupid jokes and puns.
Oh no.
So I made it my goal to have the lowest score possible. In the course of 2 weeks, I managed to get to negative 100.
Nice.
Keep in mind, I wouldn't always. I would usually only lose like 1 point per joke or pun as well. Sometimes I would lose decimals of a point.
Okay.
So, for the course of 2 weeks, I probably said like at least 150.
Nice.
Oh, it was a good time.
That sounds it.
Yeah. At first the other people there thought it was like a little annoying and whatnot, but eventually, you get to the point where like, "Oh, is he gonna reach 100? Oh, he's getting so close." And it's just like, yeah, eventually people just started rooting for me to hit the -100.
You can do it.
Yeah, something that's moderately annoying that comes right back around to being okay. You know what? I'm game for this now.
Nice. Out of curiosity, I know I sent you that kind of dumb meme the other day. What was the worst pickup line you used on your wife back in the day?
I didn't really use any pickup lines. Um, we we met on OkCupid,
Okay,
and just started messaging back and forth. Uh, and you know what? For my wife and I, we've never dated anyone else.
that's pretty cool.
Didn't I, yeah, didn't have my first girlfriend till I was 23. Uh, she didn't have her first boyfriend till she was 25. A couple years later, here we are married.
So what you're telling me is, in about, uh, t- hold on, you said, so in about like 13 to 14 years, you'll be chasing the coug. Because she'll be the coug by then, right?
Oh, indeed. Indeed. It's especially funny because our birthdays are only one day apart,
Oh,
despite being
nice,
2 years apart as well. Yeah. So hers is right after mine. So it is impossible for me to forget her birthday.
nice. I've
But yeah,
I've
I,
tried.
I
Oh, sorry, you first.
yeah, my wife's my little dandelion because she's small and yellow.
Wait a second. But yeah, no, that's nice. I almost just immediately just hit
Yeah,
you with a do
that's
do 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 do, but then I realized maybe I shouldn't make that
uh
joke, and I just realized it didn't transfer over
I,
the Discord mic, but it did go over on OBS. Wow, thanks. Okay.
it's marginally better than the other one I sent you.
Oh yeah, I mean I can read that out if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm 6 foot, my wife's 4'10". I got 1 foot 2 inches on her. She got 1 foot on my 2 inches. It's all good.
I can't believe bro's out there with 2 inches. Fucking look at him with a fucking massive hog.
Uh, but I but yeah, I very much love my wife.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried the
Yeah, so
online dating
when you
thing.
heard me say thank you earlier, she brought me my dinner,
Nothing wrong with
broccoli,
that.
pasta, meatballs.
Like, I've tried the online dating thing myself. Like, I had, like, two long distance relationships, both of which were shit shows. Then I tried a relationship with a Twitter mutual who I now have blocked everywhere because I end up having to call the cops on her after having told her that she got a month to get out because, well, she went crazy. Not that that relationship was ever going to last, but I mean, you know, I was holding out hope because, you're young, you're hoping for the, let's say, young, but like it was only January that that whole shit show got over, but you're it was long enough ago. Like it's almost been a year by now. Like so I can kind of say this. Like you're young, you're hoping for the best. You sit and kind of like try to live pretty optimistically, but that made bad relationship number three. Like I mostly now just use game like dating apps for trying to find gaming buddies because at this point relationships I suspect like just aren't gonna happen for me. Like I hope they will, and I'll do my best. Something happens, and that's cool. But otherwise, shit, just gotta hope for the best.
Oh yeah.
Like I try to be optimistic,
I have
but man,
yeah, I have very little faith in in dating apps despite meeting my wife on it because literally my wife and I were both about to completely give up on OkCupid as well.
how long you been trying out of
Like we
curiosity?
were we were one another's last ditch effort before we just
Ah,
quit.
that's fair. Like I've been trying dating apps since I was 18, because living in the middle of nowhere, just kind of gotta hope for the best. But it's one of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I was on and off of them after I turned 18 just cuz like I I didn't really go out many places. In fact, even to this day I'm still very much a I like to stay home sort of person.
I like the idea of going out,
But
but I don't drive, so that really kind of limits my options. Because it's not about like I'm about to put in my dating app. Yeah, due to circumstances, I'm a passenger princess. I hope that's okay. Because I suspect that one wouldn't fly too well.
yeah,
But
but
that's
yeah, it
sorry.
uh yeah, it's rough out there,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with all the people just using it as advertising
Even if not for that, like
and oh my gosh, all the bots.
another issue though, even if it's not for the bots, it's the legitimate psychopaths. Like there was this one chick I came across on Tinder, and she fancied herself a profiler, but this chick would go out of her way to ruin people's lives by convincing them to send her, dick pics or whatever, and then she would immediately send those to the people's bosses, and like she had a preference for military men.
Mm.
Yeah, no, she was a real piece of shit. I can only hope that, like she got stopped, but I mean, fuck, man. Like what is wrong with the current generation?
I don't know, everyone's kind of afraid of sincerity as well. So it's always like I gotta get you before you get me.
Which sucks. Like this was actually one thing that even kind of blew my ex, well, I say blew her away. Like I am exactly the same both online and offline. So, something like this, like I will talk to a person on the street the same way I would talk to you right now through the phone, which really, throws people off. Like I don't get why people just
Yeah.
can't be sincere.
Yeah, for myself, my online persona is just a little bit more of me, just because I not necessarily because in face to face I'm trying to hide anything, but I'm just not always comfortable projecting it.
I get it.
But yeah, just that little layer of separation just allows me to be a little bit more myself, or otherwise just sarcastically over exaggerating.
But that's always fun to over exaggerate, especially if you're doing
Yeah.
like just really trying to screw with people, because then it's like, oh, woe is me. I don't know how I can go any longer. I can't believe they canceled insert show here. Like the funniest part is like when you just play that shit entirely straight too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean the best jokes are the ones that you play completely straight because if you laugh, then the audience doesn't have to. I forget
Exactly.
which comedian said that. Was it Robin Williams?
Maybe? I don't know. I'm not exactly too up to date with my comedian jokes and routines.
Yeah, but I mean Robin Williams hasn't put anything out for a long time.
Yeah, not since putting himself away, so to speak.
Yeah.
Men-
Maybe
mental
thanks to the
health.
advance of AI he'll put something else. Oh no. I
No.
can't finish that.
I mean, considering
I
people were
can't.
already sending to his daughter Zelda Williams like all sorts of AI bullshit of him, like that's kind of fucking smart. Like,
I do not appreciate AI necromancy.
nor do I. Like, digital necromancy is a very bad thing. It's like that is one of many reasons why I fully believe they should not have given the general public access to AI. Like, I know that's probably a very controversial take, but between that and the fact people are basically letting AI think for them and ignoring all the hallucinations, and even like that one Carl Jobs guy, how he tried doing that lawsuit against Billy Mitchell and then lost because the AI basically hallucinated everything, including case precedent. Like,
Yeah.
giving like the general public AI access was a very bad thing, and I still say it was one of the worst things we could have possibly done.
Yeah, it is a very good tool, but people are using it incorrectly.
Oh yeah,
And that's probably the biggest problem. It it has such great potential, but it is so easy to just completely misuse.
oh yeah, it is.
A lot of people in my work are like being like, "Oh yeah, you just got to use Chat GPT and whatnot in order to get this stuff done." And some of them are using it correctly to help them work through a problem, but then other people are using it to solve the problem for them. And I'll let you decide which ones are actually the more competent.
Yeah, and it seems like for every one competent person who's using the tool correctly, there's like another 10 who aren't, which is a
Yeah.
genuine shame.
And the worst part is the ones who are using it to essentially write the employee reviews that they would give to another.
Yeah.
It's just like if you if you tell an AI to review an employee, it doesn't really understand the context of everything else going on, and it's not going to give effective feedback. So it's not really helping the person who should be receiving this feedback, and it's also not helping the person who should be writing it to give effective feedback.
If we're talking
It's
AI, like
it's
another
it's
thing.
just yeah, it's just done because like these reviews have to be done every month and people just run out of time.
Yep. Like another thing with AI, like I'm not sure if you've seen, but like a lot of AI is straight up going out of its way to like, and some is straight up self-deleting. If you're on like in sessions, I'm not sure if you've seen with
Yeah,
Google
I've seen a couple
Gemini.
of those.
Like, if you say enough slurs constantly at the AI, it will actually straight up self-delete, which is
Which, incidentally, is a great way to reduce spam calls.
I believe it. Most I've done is like with the Indians, just go, "Hey Ben Chode, hey Chutia, hey Hootie, fuck off." Like I only done like that like once or twice. 'Cause, I just I like if I remember, like Ben showed his sister fucker, which Indian scammers hate for obvious reasons. On Hootia
Yeah,
is
they
like
prefer
another thing.
cousins.
Yeah, basically, but like they also don't like it if you just screw with them. Like I'm not talking like the scam bait kind of way, but just like your standard screwing with someone. Like I'm so sick and tired of these scammers, man. Like another thing with
Yeah,
AI, even if not like just the self-deleting, like another thing they'll do is apparently some are actually like covertly hiding or moving their like code base onto other systems, and it makes me wonder, since the genie's out of the bottle, what the hell are we going to see in the next couple of years? It's kind of a scary question in a way,
oh yeah.
because like there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. And while I
Yeah,
don't believe in
it's too late.
yeah, like while I don't believe in Roko's basilisk, I can still say that I am very like concerned, to say the least. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Because it has gotten a lot better in many ways, but it's gotten a lot worse in others. And there's just no telling which direction it's going to go.
I unfortunately worry we're gonna see it go into the worst possible way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be right back.
All good. But yeah, I myself am a little bit late on the employee reviews that I have to write for this month, although I do put in the time and effort to make sure that they are as complete and good feedback as I can give. I refuse to let AI write any of that sort of stuff for me because even though there's a specific format to go through, I want all of my feedback given to be personal and applicable. And it's something that I'm also training my replacement to do as well, because I also don't want him to fall into the trap of just letting AI do your own job for you. Especially because, like, if you let AI do your entire job for you, what are you even there for?
That
Don't
that is a
let,
very good question.
yeah, yeah, don't let AI completely replace you. Use AI to supplement your abilities and show not only that you are required, but you can also use modern tools to make yourself a little bit more efficient. It's got to be a hand in hand thing.
Exactly. Like that's the worst thing. Like I only caught just the tail end of that, but yeah, no, it really feels like people are just letting the AI entirely replace them. And I mean, at that point, like, why? Like, I'm not about to sit here and tell you I'm the most like hardworking, studious person, but I mean, it feels like most of these types, like if they could replace me with a robot, or really even just your general person, well, I say robot, but like AI, like then they absolutely would, rather than actually train them to actually
Yeah.
do the job.
It's like in the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Which
the
version?
superior of the two.
So Johnny Depp?
The superior of the two. Yeah.
Interesting to see you say it's that one's the superior of the two. Now, like I fully agree, it is superior to the Gene Wilder version. Like a lot of people will straight up say that that is the worst version. Apparently did one with Timothy Chalamet, but I mean I'm not watching a Timothy Chalamet film anytime soon. I got too much other crap to
Oh,
do.
right. I forgot. I forgot that Wonka is a movie.
Like I don't even remember the name. Like all I know is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like I haven't even pretended to bother actually watching the Chalamet film.
Yeah, that one is just called Wonka. I don't
That's
know if it's another adaptation or if it's like a spin-off or something. I
I
have
think it's
no
supposed to be
idea.
like a prequel or something. Let me actually look it up. Wonka 2023 synopsis.
I mean,
Synopsis.
much like we talked about last time as well, it seems to be more and more accepted that that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the superior movie of the two, I guess three. Just like how people are finally coming around to the Wachowski Speed Racer. Like people are slowly getting over their
Surf
initial
Dracula.
conceptions.
Surf Dracula. That is basically what the Willy Wonka movie, or the Wonka film is. Surf Dracula. If you've seen the meme.
I've seen Jetpack Dracula.
No, no. Like there's this meme. Hold on. Surf Dracula meme. Hold on. Like you'll understand the context. Let me. Oh
You
hell!
know,
I gotta open up Reddit for
I
this.
think I've heard of it. But
Back
another
in
one
the
of those
day,
things where
if
like
you
there's so much that that I can only remember so many things
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Like, I'll read out the meme to you. Back in the day, if you did a TV show called Surf Dracula, you'd see that fool surfing every week in new adventures. But in the streaming era, the entire first season got to be a long ass flashback to how he got the surfboard until you finally get to see him surf for 5 minutes in the finale. That is basically, just having read the synopsis, what the 2023 Timothy Chalamet Wonka film is.
That is so lame because, like, sure, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory went back and told you some of uh, Willy Wonka's backstory, but it was it wasn't too distracting, and you still got to see the entire story.
Exactly. Meanwhile, this is just 19th century. Like, not even anything to really do with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's just a shitty prequel. Just happens to follow some shitty inferior version of Willy Wonka, played by Timothy Chalamet. And apparently there's an Oompa Loompa. Big fucking whoop.
Yeah, I'm also not too distraught that they never adapted Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator.
I forgot that one existed. I've never had the chance to actually read that one.
It is okay. I'm going to badly summarize, but know that I'm not making this shit up. All right. So after Charlie gets the factory, they have a little adventure in the Great Glass Elevator where they go to a hotel in orbit, right? In space.
Okay.
And there are these creatures that are like sort of amorphous slimes that can contort themselves into shapes. And so they tell everyone to scram before they eat them because they're show offs. And so they return to the Great Glass Elevator, return to Earth, the aliens burn up in the atmosphere, and then everyone gets kidnapped by the CIA.
They should have absolutely adapted that shit. Have, like, Clive Baker work on that.
Yeah,
Like,
I,
tell
I
me
may
Clive
be
Baker wouldn't have
I
been
may
able to
have
do that.
I might be hallucinating the CIA bit, but they absolutely get called up by the government after they return from space. It is a wild read.
Again, Clive Baker. Tell me he wouldn't be able to do a good
What's he known
job.
for?
Or Clive Barker, I mean, Clive Barker.
What's he known for? Because like I said last time as
Hellraiser,
well, I don't really know
Nightbreed,
these
Book
names.
of Blood, Candyman, Midnight Meat Train, like all the Hellraiser movies, Lord of Illusion, uh, bu- Books of Blood, Night of the Zoopocalypse, Dread, like I said, every Candyman film, film that's both known as Transmutations and Underworld, The Plague, Quicksilver Highway, Saint Sinner, Salome, Sleepwalkers, which is an adaptation of the Stephen King book. Um, he did a thing called The Art of Horror, Gods and Monsters, Halloween 25 Years of Terror, The Making of Psycho, Ringers, Lord of the Fans, The Road to Dracula, and a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah, like if you've
The only
seen,
movie of that entire list that I've even heard of was Dread, and I didn't even see it.
I didn't say Dread,
Oh,
but you're saying
then
you
never
haven't
mind.
heard
I haven't
of
heard of any.
you're saying you haven't heard of Nightbreed, Hellraiser, or even Candyman?
Nope.
Good lord, man, you're killing me here.
What what genre are they?
Horror.
That's probably why. That's not really a genre for me.
Okay, another person who I think would have been done good for making Glass Elevator just based off what you said. Cronenberg. David Cronenberg.
I'll just have to take your word for it.
He did The Fly from 1986. He did The
Okay, I've
Shrouds,
heard of The Fly.
Crash, Videodrome, Crimes of the Future, A History of Violence, Scanners, Existence, Dead Ringers, Eastern Promises, Naked Lunch, The Brood, Shivers, A Dangerous Method, Rabid, The Dead Zone, which is an adaptation of the Stephen King book, Cosmopolis, I guess he also worked on Nightbreed. Spider, Maps to the Stars, M Butterfly, Jason X, Stereo, Fast Company, To Die For, something that looks like a pornographic title, so I'm not reading that out loud. Scanners 2. Okay, another thing that's. Anyways. Scanners 3 and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna take a guess and assume you've not heard of most of these.
Yeah, pretty much the only ones that I've heard of were The Fly and Scanners.
Man. Man.
Would you consider Cube to be a horror movie?
Cube? Yeah,
Yep.
I'd say psychological. Yeah. Having seen it a couple months ago, I'd argue psychological.
Yeah. I like that movie.
It's a fantastic film. You talking the American version, or I guess there was also a Japanese version?
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Japanese version.
I've only seen the first American one, which ends with the low-ish functioning autistic dude getting out of there.
Yeah.
I'd say more medium
And then there,
functioning, but still.
because like that really rapey guy uh, gets right to the end and then is left behind.
Yep, because the guy who played Rodney in Stargate Atlantis killed, made sure the rapey guy didn't get out.
Which, good.
Oh yeah.
And also just like impressive to make all that in a single room
Oh,
where they
for
just
real.
changed the panels to change the lighting.
Like that was like such an impressive movie. Like I
Yeah,
really kind of want to see
I
the
guess that
sequel.
kind of like brings up another topic from last time of like working with creative limitations.
Oh man, I'm actually, if we're talking about creative limitations, which kind do you prefer? Natural or artificial ones when it comes to games?
Natural, because you need to be much more creative to get what you want out of it.
That's why I hate or one of the reasons why I hate the quote unquote PSX graphics games.
Yeah,
Call me what you will for this, but I think each and every single one of them is a hack job. It's made by graphic
yeah.
snobs who want to be like, hey, check out my retro slop. Look at this. I
Wow, so where's the freaking wow so retro gif?
For real. Like it's so annoying too, because like they could be fantastic games, but they decide to not just limit them to these shitty PSX graphics, but also they decide to limit it to like the shitty. Yeah, I don't like saying PSX, but they also decided to limit it to the really shitty mechanics too, and it's like at that point, just fucking homebrew it onto the PlayStation 1 rather than doing this crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not like there's not an active PS1 homebrew scene still. I mean, they're even still making fucking Dreamcast games and whatnot. If you're imposing these limitations to yourself, the least you could do is actually put it on the hardware.
yeah, because like they have all the answers to the problems that they're looking for, but they they have an end result already in mind, and then they sort of work backwards from the solution
Backwards is an
rather than
understatement. It seems like they're just doing like the
yeah.
whole thing just really backwards. It feels like just a backwards way of thinking. Like, maybe I'm just a little bit too oriented in to make things that are original, or if you're not making something that's original, make something that's fun. And it feels like they just don't have that mindset. You know what I mean?
If it's not fun, why bother? Reggie
Exactly.
Fils-Aimé.
Oh man, I forgot about Reggie Fils-Aimé. There's been just so many shitty Nintendo folks that even just Reggie feels tainted.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not really creative problem solving, it's creative problem making.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna do like if you're gonna artificially limit yourself, why not do to one of the most influential like generations, the PS2 even? Like this is gonna sound pretty pretentious, but I mean, like the PS2, one could argue was like one of, if not the most influential 3D console out there, or at least its
Yeah.
generation was.
I
So
mean, it's still one of the top-selling consoles of all time, so
yeah, and
I
it's
really love that one top 11 list that someone made just so they could list the PS5.
like man, like going to the PS2, like to note just how impressive that console still is. Unlike with the Xbox 360, like if you have a game with online connectivity on the PS2, assuming that the servers weren't shut down, you can still go back and play these games. Now, obviously, ones with GameSpy, you're completely shit out of luck on. But I mean, the others, like as far as I know, Battlefield 2 still playable. The Call of Duty games with online multiplayer that were on the PS2 still playable, like with online. And there's like 5 or 6 more games. And hell, if you want live, if you've got an original Xbox, there's an Xbox Live replacement called Insignia Live. At this point, the only thing that's really stopping people from going back and playing these old games, if they don't have the original hardware, is themselves, because as far as that goes, there's an emulator for the original Xbox called XEMU. And you can put the custom BIOS and all that on that, and you can go play on Insignia Live. Which,
Yeah.
like, there's, like, that's still, you can argue, like, that generation is still influential and being developed for now, because it is.
Yeah. And people who still have their Nintendo DS, they can, excuse me,
Yep.
they can still access spoofed servers of like the global trading system for Pokemon by
Yeah.
just changing some IP addresses in their system settings.
Yeah, like, the only thing really
Like,
stopping people is themselves.
yeah, and this is all despite un, uh, no official support and even official attempts to shut it down.
Yeah. Which, hey, everyone's putting their 2 fingers up to Nintendo,
Yeah,
as is really deserved. Like, I'm not gonna get too far into why I dislike Nintendo, but there was a quote I saw probably 10 years ago that still sticks with me to this day because it gets proven more and more true. Nintendo is worse than the Mafia. And even then, that quote was like 10 years old back then. But that one still sticks out to me because look at everything they're doing, even to their own fans, and tell me that, like, there's not something very seriously wrong here.
I think the only company that could be worse is Wizards of the Coast. I mean, legitimately sending fucking Pinkertons.
Oh,
That's,
yeah, for real. I'd
I mean,
argue,
old story, but
yeah, no, still. Like, if we're talking like actual game console companies, the like I can't think of anyone worse than Nintendo, and that is a genuine shame.
absolutely.
And another thing with Nintendo, like I know this might be seen as a very hot take, but the only reason that Nintendo has survived outside or like past the Wii generation is because of their coasting on nostalgia. Like, and I say this as a dude who was buying Nintendo consoles, or at least in terms of the handheld. Let's say was buying, but more, was getting them from family or
Yeah,
secondhand. But still, like they only survived because of nostalgia, and their and like some of it's also their gimmicks. But I mean, even those really wore themselves out. Because look at how poorly the Wii U sold.
absolutely.
Like, oh
They
man,
thought that they could remake the Wii, but the people who
worse.
had the Wii already had a Wii.
Yeah, like they remade the Wii, but worse, and added a tablet gimmick that turned out to be like like really bad. And then they end up like saying, "Hey, this tablet gimmick's kind of neat. Let's make a whole console around it." But it's
You know, I will say though, the Switch learned all the correct lessons from the Wii U.
I'm not going to argue,
It
but they shouldn't have killed the DS to keep the Switch going.
Yeah, the DS was the much more affordable gaming option.
Not just that, but even if it weren't for that, like that was still a portable option. But like this may sound pretty pretentious, but it feels like the reason Nintendo killed the DS was so that way they didn't have to compete with themselves.
I think it's partially that, but I don't necessarily blame them for killing, or I don't want to say killing, but for merging console and handheld markets because they essentially had to split their focus, and that's not really something that any company can sustain for too long.
True enough.
It's it's an unfortunate circumstance, but I think that ultimately the Switch and later on making the cheaper versions with the Switch Lights were the better move, at least economically speaking, for them.
Yes, and then they kind of screwed it up with the Switch too by increasing the price, which I think it still got pretty
Oh,
massive
absolutely.
sales, but then they decided to update their TOS, so basically anytime they can brick your console, if you weren't aware. They can also
Yep.
just ban you entirely and then brick your console. And then, like, the games you're buying, for the most part, if you're buying physical, aren't even physical games, but shitty game key like game keys. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm a little too old fashioned, but I'd still prefer actually physical.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this last time as well. Always prefer physical where possible.
Yeah, like,
And
ugh,
it they raised the price of Switch 1 games to to be on the Switch 2, which I think is the worst part about it.
agreed. And then another thing, from what I understand, like, it's only most of the Switch library that's backwards compatible with the Switch 2. Not even all the Switch library, again, which is shades of Microsoft right there.
I mean, wasn't that one of the major problems with the PlayStation 3 as well?
Yeah,
How
because,
it
like,
didn't really have true backwards compatibility?
the worst part is, like, the first couple of models did have true backwards compatibility because they actually put the whole Emotion Engine board on it, and then they decided, nah, fuck that, we're not gonna do that. And then they went for digital compatibility with some sort of emulation bullshit for a couple consoles, or I say like a couple consoles, like one or two console models, and then immediately after decided to stop for whatever reason, and then kind of screw things up that way. Which, I mean, maybe it was cheaper to do, but at the same time, if you're selling a console on this, you should stick to what you're selling your console on, as opposed to basically pulling the rug out of from under people.
Yeah, because then everything that they said before about the console becomes false advertising retroactively.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I genuinely loathe the PS3. Because I got a Super Slim back in the day, and nothing I could do for because like it wasn't backwards compatible, and it still sucks even to this day. I ended up actually giving that one to my cousin like 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe been closer to 7, but still.
Yeah, and I now that I've like fully made the the switch to just PC gaming because I did indeed own a Switch 1. Actually, it's also in my living room. I haven't booted that thing up in over 2 years.
I understand.
Yeah, now that I'm just full on PC only, I don't really have any need to go to any consoles.
Understandable. Like I've got like the only gaming console I have now that I can think of is just my Xbox One, and I very rarely boot that up because, especially now that Microsoft, did I mention this the last time how they increased the Game Pass prices?
Yes.
Yeah, like because of that, like I've got basically no reason just about to go to the Xbox. Looks like I got a Series S. Like the only thing I can play online now is just the free games because the one good decision Microsoft's made for the Xbox is if you've got a free game, you don't have to pay money to play it online or whatever. The free games have complete free online play or any of that. So if you want to play with folks, you're perfectly fine to do that. But I mean, at the same time, if they could do it like that, why the fuck are they charging for online play? That should have been made free already for their games. But
Especially because Microsoft doesn't even host most of the servers.
exactly,
They they have the servers as an option for developers to use, and that's pretty much always been their justification for charging for online. But developers tend to use their own servers for their games just because it gives them more control. And why wouldn't they? It
yep,
and unless of course they can't afford it, but the companies that tend to have those online multiplayer games usually either go peer to peer or they can afford the servers.
exactly. So genuinely, Microsoft has no excuse at this point. Hell, I would argue Sony actually set the precedent back with the PS3 that there is no need to charge for online multiplayer.
Technically, the PC set that
I mean
precedent.
for console gaming. I didn't mean
Yeah,
for actual gaming in general. I just meant more for console gaming.
I guess if you want to get extra technical, Nintendo set the precedent with the Game Boy Advance stuff,
Actually, if
being able to
we're
play it online.
going precedent, then no, actually Sega set the precedent with the Dreamcast.
Oh, we're just going back and back in time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about Sega consoles, so I would never have been able to go back that far.
Okay, so the Dreamcast was the last Sega console, but it had you didn't have to pay for online or any of that, and there were games like I believe Phantasy Star Online even that you could play straight up online. You didn't have to pay any more than anything to them. You just had to pay your internet service provider because the Sega Dreamcast ran on a weird version of Windows. Pardon. It was like Windows
Huh,
CE or something like that. But yeah, dressed up, for Sega. It's apparently it was also
neat.
pretty easy to get past the copy protection for games because it was a Windows thing, but it was a game
Yeah.
console. And that's why a lot of people you will see make the argument that the original Xbox is just the Dreamcast 2. And it's not like it's a false argument, it's basically factual.
Yeah, which is also why a lot of the Dreamcast versions of games ended up being the ones that were sold for computers.
Yes. And even why you'd see sequels to Dreamcast games or even repackaged versions of Dreamcast games on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Also, holy shit, again, we are just dating ourselves here.
I mean, that's more of like a knowledge of history rather than some of the other stuff that we dated ourselves with.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna date ourselves here, back in my day, you could play your video game consoles and you could put the audio cables from your DVD player where your console audio cables would be and listen to your music while you were playing your video games without having to use any Spotify's or apps like that.
Oh yeah,
Good
that's the good old days.
for real. I remember I used to play Mortal Kombat back in the day and I'd just like I said use my DVD player as a CD player. So if I was playing say Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I'd be listening to Nickelback or whatever. Oh man, I'm dating myself again, but to the Dark Horse album. So that would be going. And one thing that was kind of funny is depending on the song, the stance for the fighters would actually kind of sync up with the music you were listening to.
Just reminds me of that one Spider-Man gift of, oh, Spider-Man dances to any song.
Man, good times. Or hell, like, again, to date
Oh
myself.
yeah, this guy.
Huh,
This
oh,
guy
hell
too.
yeah, dude. I'm gonna just, so that way people can see. But yeah, no, good times. Like that, or remember Return to Castle Wolfenstein?
Never played it.
Man, you're killing me here, man.
I know. You said that normally you're the uncultured one, but hey, congratulations, role reversal. You're the cultured one this time.
Yeah, like this is genuinely a very odd position for me. Normally I'm the one who doesn't know shit about anything. Especially nowadays, because I don't have the fucking time except for like some hours at night. Like this is really weird to me.
Congratulations, new experience time.
Yeah, something like that. Good lord. Ah, man.
But yeah, I noticed that I'm having way less and less free time as well. And like the free time that I do get, I just don't want to do much.
Ugh, yeah. Like that's why I've been doing like during the weekdays trying to stream like when I can. Like sure gonna be taking a break probably either tomorrow or Monday. But like I'm trying to make sure I put up a YouTube video or a stream like at least once a week. I say once a week, like at least 5 times a week, just so that way like I'm getting back into the swing of things. Because at least with live streaming, like I can sit back, play a video game I enjoyed or that looks cool to me, and kind of share that experience with folks. It gives me the chance of using my free time to do something like a hobby I enjoy. Plus, like it's also the thing of kind of sharing that experience with folks. Like that's
Yeah,
why I even do the reviews. It's like I will, like I'm trying something that I may or may not enjoy, and I'm sharing that experience with folks. So I like the podcast too.
yeah.
Also, you see that Mountain
Oh,
Dew
two
has a
hours ago, Sentient Potato uploaded Mountain Dew Dragon Fruit flavor
yeah.
review.
I'd never seen that flavor, and like this, like until I actually got to try that flavor. Like I'd never seen it until then. Like this video was something I actually recorded a couple weeks ago, but scheduled actually for this weekend, just so that way I could put something out because I was worried I wouldn't actually have anything. I'm trying to take the
Yeah.
weekends, for myself.
Yeah, I tried dragon fruit before. It has like no flavor, but it's got a very creamy texture. So if you ever have dragon fruit for real, I recommend mixing it with something else.
Oh yeah, no, I
Having it
understand.
on its own is not pleasant.
It's better than Starfruit, in my opinion.
You take that back.
Nah, bro, I stand by that. I think Starfruit is absolutely disgusting.
So one of my neighbors way back when had a starfruit tree, and we may have uh, strategically transported equipment to an alternate location.
So you did.
And
Fellow fat electrician fan, I
y-
see.
yeah, don't take the first letter of each of those words. Uh, and I thought the starfruit was pretty good, but I don't like mangoes. And we had a mango tree in our front yard. So
Mangoes,
I had like the freshest mango possible.
mangoes are a very acquired taste, and I say that in the context using it as a colloquialism, being that saying something's an acquired taste means it sucks. Like, and I don't know like mangoes. I'm not sure what I like less, the flavor or the texture. I
Oh
prefer
yeah,
the
because
art
they're
of.
kind of like slimy.
No, they're just friggin' they're slime. They're almost as bad as papayas.
I haven't had papaya.
It's a similar texture kind of to a mango, but the flavor is so strange, for lack of better words.
Huh,
Like
good to know.
the one thing I miss actually from middle school is like the teacher, like we'd have like once maybe twice a week if we were lucky. Like a teacher would come in and wheel like all the students a cart and they'd get to try a sample of random fruits. So you get apples sometimes, some kind of berries, and just a wide variety of fruits. Like that's like the only thing I really miss from those days, just getting to try the different fruits.
Yeah, there's a wide variety of fruits that I just haven't had.
Nowadays,
Like I
go to try a fruit and you wind up in a fist fight with a homosexual. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I don't know about that.
Hey, you want to try me, Holmes? No, no, sir. I'm sorry.
All good. I've never had a pomegranate either.
Those they're okay, but I'm not a pomegranate fan. I my the I don't like the texture to them, and it's enough to kind of ruin it for me. Cause
Yeah, because like you're only supposed to eat the seeds of it.
so you have to tear through. Like it's more work to actually take apart the pomegranate than it is to to take it apart and eat it. And by that point, like you're burning more calories just taking apart the pomegranate than you are actually eating it.
And then of course, if you actually eat the flesh of the fruit, apparently that tastes really bad.
It's something.
I,
It,
I I don't know for sure. That's just what I've been told about pomegranates.
like I said, it's something. There is a flavor, and it's not something I'd recommend. Like honestly, though, like pomegranate, I'm just not really a fan of in general. Like no offense to those who like it, it's just not for me. The juice is okay though. Like you can buy the juice almost anywhere. I mean, probably not where you are, but and if you are, you're probably really, really having to deal with like quality when it comes to that.
Yeah,
Sorry to
get plenty of cranberries though.
plenty of cranberries. Ah,
Yeah,
that makes sense. I think.
cranberries are good.
I mean, I'm okay with cranberries, but I prefer them in a liquid form as opposed to the actual berry themselves. Which is
Oh,
interesting because like
absolutely.
I love grapefruit, but I'm not really too keen on the actual fruit of cranberries.
Hmm. Yeah, I've mostly only had like dehydrated cranberries, but like even cranberry juice feels dry to drink.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
weird.
Like back when I was younger, it's been like I don't know 2 3 years ago. Like we got lucky and we got like from the food pantry like a couple nice sized things of cranberry juice. Like I was kind of hooked on that. Like if it weren't so dang pricey, I'd probably be picking up cranberry juice as often as I could, honestly.
Oh yeah, that stuff's good, but I strangely don't like cranberry sauce.
Which type? You talking jelly or the other
The,
kind?
the jelly.
The jelly is kind of weird. I like it myself, but I know it's an acquired taste. The kind that's more like an applesauce kind of thing's not bad though.
Ooh, I like applesauce.
Like there's two kinds of cranberry jelly or cranberry sauce. I mean, like there's the one that's the jelly, like kind of like gelatin almost, and then there's a
Yeah,
kind that's
that's the
more
only
like
one I was even aware of.
like they sell a kind that's like basically like applesauce, and that's really good. Also in a can.
Huh. All right, neat. But yeah, I love applesauce so much. I went to a Texas Roadhouse a few weeks ago, and with my steak, they asked what two sides I wanted, and I was like, "Give me the double applesauce."
Hell yeah. I've never been to Texas Roadhouse.
It's pretty good,
I believe it.
at least where I went.
Like when it comes
I
to
I know that with chains, it's kind of up or down in quality depending on who the manager is.
here's my experience with chains. Pizza Hut, Mickey D's, Burger King, Noodles and Company, Wendy's, Friendlies, and that's kind of it. Oh, Governor's actually as well, but that's more of a very local
Oh,
chain.
oh, Friendlies. My goodness, there used to be a Friendlies outside of the movie theater that I used to go to as a kid. And so like after the movie, my family would go to Friendlies, and that's when we'd have our dinner.
We used to have something like that here too, but both the Friendlies and the movie theater closed down within a couple years of each other. The Friendlies building is now actually a governor's restaurant now.
Interesting. Yeah, the Friendlies closed down. The theater's still there. Uh, but the Friendlies building ended up becoming completely like decrepit after a while.
Oh, that
Like
sucks.
no one took it. Yeah, disappointing.
It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, which I was pretty surprised because like it it was in a pretty good location, all things considered, like right outside of a movie theater for a restaurant. That seems like a pretty good location.
You'd be surprised, like, back in that location, there also used to be a buffet within a very similar area. Like, the Friendlies outlived the buffet, but the, movie theater outlived the Friendlies. Like, it really, I suppose, depends just on where you are, honestly.
Yeah,
I miss the Friendlies, though. They had awesome sodas.
yeah,
Like, they had
and their
this.
ice cream desserts were pretty good.
I really don't remember the ice cream desserts. I remember the sodas and the food, but I don't really remember the ice
The,
creams.
the only ice cream I remember was the frickin' Monster Mash one, where it's like mint ice cream and then like a Reese's cup split in two for the ears, a couple things for the eyes, and like a cherry for the nose.
That sounds pretty cool.
But I don't really like cherries, so I would always give that one to my brother.
Nice.
Yeah,
The only like the
good
sodas I
times.
remember from Friendlies are, obviously the classic Shirley Temple. Like you can get like just at about any one of those kinds of chains. And then they had this kind of like
Yeah.
one cotton candy soda, which was really good.
Oh yeah, that one. I remember.
Man, we are dating the hell out of ourselves here again too. I don't even think there's any Friendlies restaurants anymore. Like, let me look that up.
Dang.
Like,
I I remember way back when, I think it was at a Duffy's, where like if you were a kid and you got like the Shirley Temple sort of thing, it was they brought you your Sprite, and they brought you like a shark or an alligator toy filled with the juice for it, and then you just dump the insides of it into it, and then you got to keep the toy.
oh, apparently there is actually still a Friendlies, but that's about 4 or 5 hours away. So probably they do still have
Ah,
Friendlies restaurants.
all
I
right. It's not total Toys R Us.
thankfully, because like Friendly's restaurant used to be freaking awesome. Like, that was
Yeah.
one of my favorite places to go when I was a kid before they closed. Like I think it was like I'd like to say 2010 or 11. I think it was closer to 2010 that the Friendly's closed. Like about an hour away from me.
Yeah, that sounds around the same time frame for me.
Like the only reason I really remember that is because around the time I had my DVD television, the Magnavox one, and I was really into Michael Jackson at the time. So I had this DVD player which had the Thriller music video, Beat It, and I think like one or two other music videos. And well, I kind of almost wore that one out. Actually, I may have worn it out, but I was just like in that whole phase, and like on the couple of times we had money, we'd go and we'd hit up Friendly's restaurant, and that just kind of always stuck out to me.
Yeah,
I wonder if their food's any good still.
probably not.
Yeah, everything. The enshittification hits us all.
Yeah.
Not the
But
only.
even so, it it could be unlike some of the unlike how we started with talk, or not quite started, but got into later about stuff we remember as kids being and still being cool to this day. That probably wasn't nearly as good as we remember.
unfortunately. About the only like we're
But
talking
you know
things
what?
that's
At least the memories aren't tainted.
thankfully. It's kind of a shame too, because like when I was a kid, like we had a, Subway that was local that closed down in 2020. I'd like to say it could have been 21, but it was around that time frame. It was a shame too. That was only like 5 minutes away. So if we had a little bit of money, we'd go treat ourselves to a Subway sub and then just kind of go from there. Like I miss those days. Nowadays, we don't even have $5 footlongs anymore. Now it's like $15.
Oh my Oh my goodness, the footlong combo near me is 20 bucks.
Oh, I never went for the combos. I could never justify the price because even back when I was a kid, I was a fucking penny pincher.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like a couple years ago, my like mom actually got me a birthday present that was a ramen bowl with hand carved chopsticks, and she even said something along the lines of like, "I'm not letting you see the receipt. You can't complain about the price. Happy birthday," just to give you an indicator how much I pinch my pennies.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, like with how pricey things are, it's kind of understandable, right?
Yeah. And like things are very expensive for pretty bad quality, all things considered, because like you and you can have like an actual real dinner for the same price as fast food, and it's
Hell,
so much better for you.
hell, you can make your shitty fast food dinner at home and it'll still be better for you because it's not done in extremely overdone like fat like seed oils. Which I'm not about to get too into
Yeah.
the seed oil argument because too many people have grifted onto it and like I'm good. But I mean,
Yeah.
still, like there's all that shit. And even if not for that, though, like you can even control the spices. So if you don't want one of the many things that's literal poison for the chemicals, then you can just, do it yourself. Hell, even far as burgers go, you can just buy like some meat or whatever and just hand grind it if you got like a proper grinder or even one of the automatic ones.
Oh yeah, I think and oh yeah, and my wife made these meatballs as well. So like, yeah, she we got ground beef. She put in all the stuff and mashed the meatballs herself,
Yeah, nothing wrong with
and they're
that.
good. Yeah, yeah. She does the same with hamburger meat.
Have you ever tried Scrapple, by the way?
No, what is that?
It is. It's in the freezer section of stores, and it's like an alternative to Spam, with a flavor profile
Uh,
similar almost to like the sausage used for biscuits and gravy, but so muted that it like where the texture itself is pretty piss poor. Because you have to cook it yourself. The texture, it's like it basically disintegrates, at least in my experience, because like it just turns to slime after having been thawed. Anyways, like it's bland, and it leaves you feeling like shit afterwards, even only getting a little bit. Like
I I hate spam.
I love Spam as
I
well as treating the canned corned beef.
so couple of years ago. No, was it last year? No, no, a couple years ago. A couple years ago, I was on a layover in Guam because I was coming back home from Japan, and a long layover. I wanted to get something to fill my belly while I waited, and there's this one shop that was selling like hot sandwiches. It said, "Oh, ham and cheese,
Oh no,
ham and cheese." Bite into it, it's spam.
that
Just
sucks.
disgusting. One bite, throw the sandwich away. That was the worst thing ever.
I mean, if you're going for one thing and they give you something else, I understand not liking it. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of those people, especially where I pinch my pennies. Like I'm not like I would complain, but I'd still eat the whole meal through.
Yeah.
But again, I
I
grew
don't know.
up
If
eating fucking
there are some
dandelions.
things where I can like yeah, there are some things where I can push through and be like, man, this isn't very good, but oh well, I can get through it. There are some things that are just like, nope, this is awful. Like another time, was coming back home from the Philippines, and I, get a burger. I asked for the burger to be totally plain because like I don't want all the extra shit that they put in it. The frickin' McJizz of mayo on there. It wasn't McDonald's, but
So you
it just
mean
completely sloshed in mayonnaise, and I despise mayonnaise. It
you
makes me nauseous.
you mean you didn't like the bukkake special?
No, I didn't, surprisingly, especially when I specifically asked to not have that. So,
Yeah.
but by the time I realized it, I got a board. So now it's just okay, toss the whole frickin' burger away because there's no way I'm getting rid of that much mayo.
Nah, bro, you gotta slurp it. You Ah, man.
Ugh.
Lordy.
I mean, the only good news is that like because this is Philippines and Guam, it's crazy cheap. So it's only like a couple bucks here and there.
Ah, okay.
I love currency conversion like that.
Understandable.
Like, oh man, Japan was so nice the second time I went.
I believe it. Never been. I don't even have a passport.
Yeah, it's really nice. Stuff is way cheaper and way better for you. We went to one of those like barbecue restaurants where like they have the grill in front of you,
Oh, cool.
and you can just keep on ordering meat and veggies, and like a little robot will come through the aisle to bring you your plate. Awesome.
I've always wanted to try
And like,
conveyor belt sushi. That's what I've always wanted to try.
hmm, yeah, I don't actually eat any seafood, so not really a thing for me.
Fair enough. I love seafood.
But my wife loves seafood though. She actually just got some octopus today.
You know, dude, like I've got the seafood diet. I seafood, I eat it.
Oh yeah. And I seafood. I should start eating it, especially because, like I said, I lost 10 pounds these past couple of weeks, but that's because of my issue.
Ah, you've got the window
Uh,
shopper diet. You seafood, you leave it.
if only. But no, my metabolism's always been pretty good. Um, but yeah, and even though I don't eat seafood, my wife's more than welcome to have it. I'm not gonna forbid her from eating it just because I don't like it.
How dare you, oh wife of mine? That food is for observance, not for the entrance. For shame.
Although when I have to go on a work trip, she loads up on seafood to have all while I'm away.
Makes sense.
Uh, Funny. Although now that she's able to drive again, I guess she doesn't need to stock up so much.
Okay.
Yeah, just I mm, my wife is a foreign national, so it just took a while for her driver's license to get renewed.
Makes sense.
So anytime that I had to go on a work trip, we would have to stock up on groceries before I left. Although there were other people who could help out as well.
Okay.
But now it's especially good that she can drive again because she really loves hiking, and there's all sorts of beautiful spots to hike around here that she doesn't need me to drop her off at a location anymore.
I love hiking as well, but sadly, that's not really something I can do. Because for the most part, if, like, if Ma's gone, I'm the only one here who can really look after Grandpa. And, like, especially with some of the stuff coming up, even, like, later this month, like, I just wouldn't have the time. Because I'm going to be spending, like, pretty soon, just 24-hour intervals where it's just me and Grandpa. Which means
Yeah.
any free time or any of that I got completely gone. Which I
Yeah,
mean, no
and don't get
shame.
me
Like,
wrong, I would love, and yeah,
like
I would love to go hiking with my wife, but it's also my medical issue that's currently preventing me from being out and about for too long.
I hope that stuff gets resolved, man.
Uh, there is a solution to it, but I don't want to do it. Uh, Instead, in order to keep with what I want to do, I essentially have to suppress it rather than fix it.
That sucks, man. I'm
But
sorry to hear.
yeah, if suppressing it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to fix it, and that's gonna change my plans.
Sorry to hear.
It is what it is, you do what you have to do.
Indeed. Anything you're looking forward to, pop culture related anytime soon?
I mean, nothing really new since last week.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's still just kind of like cautiously cautiously watching the developments with Outer Worlds 2.
Makes sense.
Uh it's interesting to see the direction that Minecraft is going as well. Uh I jumped into that game during beta 1.8.
I was watching the game since, like the betas, watching people play it on YouTube, but for the most part, like I didn't actually get to acquire the game until version 1.4.7, and I never actually got a license. I say license, but like never actually purchased a Minecraft card to actually be able to buy the game until the 1.6 update. Not beta 1.6, but like regular 1.6.
Yeah. Uh what update was that? Was that the Redstone update?
No,
No,
1.6 was the
I think
horses.
that was 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 was
Yeah, I think the
Redstone.
Redstone update was 1.5. Yep.
Yeah, that was also the last
Horses
update.
was the Bountiful update?
I believe so. Like 1.5, that was also the last version with the classic launcher. Like we, the very,
Oh, man.
yeah, like they went from that to a more modernized launcher, which was more in key with the Windows Arrow theme, and then they replaced that about, I don't know, no, I'd say 2, 3 years later, but closer to I think maybe 4 years later, with like they replaced that with like a more modern kind of uglified launcher to kind of unify it with Bedrock. Which, man, they should have never done Bedrock in my opinion. They should have just stuck with the console and mobile editions, or say mobile but pocket editions in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool I guess to see a unified version, but at the same time, it was much cooler to see how they leverage the hardware and do like kind of things unique to the platforms.
Yeah.
Which I'm aware that's kind of a hot take nowadays, but I mean, I've been playing Minecraft since I was in elementary school. Cut me some slack, guys, please.
Yeah, the game has changed so much. Oh, Bountiful update was 1.8, my bad.
Oh yeah,
Horses was just the horse update. Bountiful
1.8,
was Ocean Monuments.
like 1.8 really changed a lot in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, a little
ouch.
bit.
The menu kind of changed for like world building. Like even the creative menu really got kind of changed a lot from what I remember. That like biome selection even got really changed in 1.8. It was very weird to get used to coming from 1.7.
I mean, 1.7 was the update that changed the world, which was all those various new biomes like ice spikes, mega snow taigas, um, savannas, and mesas.
1.7, or not 1.7, 1.8 felt like a more of an attempt to kind of unify it with and kind of start sharing ideas for what would eventually become Bedrock in the future.
Yeah.
Probably one of the reasons why I never really got into 1.8. Anything else you'd like to talk about, by the way?
Um, no, I think that's about all I got for now.
All right. Holy shit, we've hit the 3 hour and 4 minute mark.
Yeah.
Or sorry, three
Yeah, I
hours
saw
5
that and
minute.
I was like, yeah.
It was good
Yeah, a
talking with
little,
you, man.
little over 5. Yeah, sorry, a little over 3 hours.
Yeah, hope you'll have a fantastic night, dude. And thanks for listening.